to the Theme Park Duo Podcast. Grab your severed heart monster friends and hop in line as we take you on a creepy tour of some of the best haunts around. Now, here are your scary hosts, Nikki and Gabriel.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the last and final Halloween special episode of the Theme Park Duo Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Gabriel.
I'm your other host, Nikki.
And I'm your other host, the Ghost Host.
Whoa! What do you do? That's a ghost!
How did he
right
get
in front
here?
of us.
Who are you?
Did we conjure you through the frickin' Ouija board?
No, I just kind of showed up. I'm the ghost of Epcot.
What? Epcot's not dead.
Is it?
Okay, well, I don't have time to argue a ghost whether or not Epcot is dead or not. What are you doing?
Well, I heard you're gonna talk about Halloween Horror Nights Orlando.
Well, we are. I mean, we're gonna have Rick and Johanna from Theme Park Adventure and Midsummer Scream on to talk about that. I mean, if you want to, by all means, stick around if that's okay with you, Nikki. I mean, I don't want to be presumptuous on whether or not you're gonna allow a ghost into the conversation.
I mean, you can stay as long as you don't cause any ruckus.
I'm a ghost. I could be quiet.
I just want to ask though, are you the one that was knocking on our door at midnight and knocking books off our shelves?
Okay, maybe I'm not so good at being quiet. I was just trying to get your attention to let you know I was here.
Oh.
No malintentions there.
Okay, well, I mean, as long as you're a good ghost instead of a bad ghost, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Rick and Johanna should be here any minute, so you can stay.
I think I'm just gonna go. I'll see you guys later in the afterlife. Bye.
Okay, that is officially the weirdest thing that has happened to us.
That was so weird.
Well, I mean, let's not forget that we've done a couple things that we want to talk about before getting to our huge conversation that we had, because this episode is going to be longer than any other episode that we had so far.
It's okay. It's our grand finale. It can be
a grand finale of the Halloween season.
Yeah.
So, first off, we did Zombie Joe's underground theater group's Urban Death. And if you don't know what this is, it is a small, I guess, theater haunt that takes place in North Hollywood here in Los Angeles, California. And it's more of a theater-based haunt than anything else, but it isn't on the lines of like a Delusions or anything. It's very much on a small scale, very in your face, and it doesn't really have to do with a lot of like monsters or anything.
No, it's more like creepy real life type situations.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really disturbing imagery, and I think that's really what this is supposed to be about, is making you feel extremely uncomfortable or just different types of emotions. And when you go through, you walk through a small little maze with a flashlight, and then you end up in a very small room where you watch these vignettes unfold.
Yeah, and then after it's all done, you walk back out through the same maze, but it's all different when you walk through again. So
exactly.
It's like a maze and a show all in one. It's definitely not for kids.
100% not for kids.
It's definitely adults only, and it's just adult content.
It's very different, I'll tell you that. And if you're okay with nudity, then you're fine. You could take it. Partial nudity to a certain extent. It really is just your worst nightmares come to life in this theatrical setting. And I think they do a stellar job of really capturing those emotions in those moments and making the audience feel them.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's feeling uncomfortable, whether it's funny, whether it's scary, whether it's creepy, whether it's gross, regardless of whatever those are, they do an excellent job of capturing those emotions. And for me, this is a very unique experience for us and for anybody who's willing to go try this thing, which I implore you, if you would like to push your boundaries a little bit and try something really different, something that'll push not necessarily the ghost all messed me up. Not necessarily physical boundaries, but your emotional boundaries as well as your comfort zone that you're usually in when you go to these haunts, then this is the thing to try. Like, I think everyone should try this. It is kind of a life-changing experience to a certain extent.
We should say that it's just a show and a walkthrough. No one touches you, nothing
it's nothing
that.
physical. It's not like a 17th door or anything.
Yeah, it's just purely a show.
It's a show that's done in a very distinct way that has a lot of character.
Yeah.
And when you go to a Zombie Joe show, you'll see some through characteristics in every one of their shows. And this one, I feel like, pushes forward mainly what they're about. And I really like this. They do have other stuff, which is fantastic.
They have shows throughout the year. If you want to look up Zombie Joes, you'll find their other shows that they have throughout the year. This is purely their Halloween one that we went to.
And Urban Death, I think, is one of their best. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
So I give them a thumbs up. And if you want to try them out, make sure you... they have a Facebook page and a website, so make sure you can buy your tickets on there and everything. So check that out. And then also we went to the WB Studio Tour Horror Made Here event on the WB backlot. WB being Warner Brothers. Which is right in our backyard. That's not very far at all. And this is the first year that they've done something on this scale. And it had 2 haunted houses. It had the It VR bus. It had the Neibolt house that was out on Hollywood and Vine. Mm-hmm. It had a small, Halloween-themed studio tour that ended in one of the, the Central Perk coffee shop and the Friends location and all that stuff.
Yep.
What they normally have, but then they have some specific horror costumes that you can see, like, from The Conjuring or It, mm-hmm. and a lot of things like that. And then they had some photo ops with It, a lot of It stuff, actually. Food trucks, and a makeup demonstration. And it was really, really fun. I do have to be completely honest. We got in for free. So our experience and opinion towards this is from that perspective.
Yeah.
I believe that the prices for the tickets range from like $55 to $70, if I'm not mistaken. It could be different than that, but we could talk about it in our experience and then also talk about whether or not we think it's worth the ticket price.
Yeah.
We had a blast.
We had so much fun. There wasn't like a whole bunch to do, but it was enough to get done in one night without front of the line, because at this point they don't have anything like front of the line. It's just, everyone waits in the same lines. And, given that, I think it's good that they, it's still kind of small, so you have ample time to do every single thing and probably still have time left over.
Exactly. And, with regards to the quality of the attractions that they have, if you went through the Neibolt house that was in Hollywood and Vine, you know exactly the quality that you're going to be getting in any situation that they have here, which is really high quality experiences. I would even say along the lines of Halloween Horror Nights, if not a little better. The Neibolt house was what it was then when we experienced it. And maybe they had one extra actress in there.
They had one or
something.
Two. Yeah.
They added some different special effects to kind of spice things up, which was kind of nice. Everything was pretty much the same, though, as when we went through, ultimately. But that was still fun. They had a Nightmare on Elm Street scare, I almost said scare zone, haunted house, a maze, where you walk into the high school, and it was really short. It wasn't very long. It pretty much is you walking through the hallways. There's dead bodies and bloody lockers and dead students trying to reach for help, and then there was a photo op at the end.
Yeah, but what was really cool about... not the It house, because the Neibolt house they built from scratch, but the other 2 mazes were basically sets that they use all the time to film, and so it was really cool how it really, like, for the Freddy house, you really were walking into a high school hallway with lockers, and there was a classroom, and it was very, very real. And then the same thing with the Conjuring house. It was well, some of them were like half sets, but you were walking into a house, then into a garage, then into a backyard, and it was very real. It was like more real than...
It was convincing.
Yeah, more than any other place could probably, pull off, because it was like, it was there, you were on a street and you walk into a house, so I mean, it was pretty cool, because if you've ever seen Gilmore Girls... It's in the whole event takes place in that courtyard area with the gazebo in the middle, and then there's the church, and the big city hall. There's a city hall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a whole town square area. That's where the whole event takes place.
You know what these are? They're gazebos. They're bullcrap. Had to censor myself, but still. Yeah, so I definitely agree with you on that. And then you mentioned the Conjuring house as well, you know, outside of Neibolt house and the Freddy house. The Conjuring house was our favorite by far. Extremely impressive.
Oh my gosh, it was wonderful.
And they set it up in a way so that each maze was very much pulsed. You go in small groups and you go to each room and different things happen. And there might be parts where you're actually walking through to a certain extent. But there's always like something happening.
Yeah.
So in the case of The Conjuring, you know, you go into the first room. There's all these actual props from the film that they're using. You get set up to be explained what was going on, then the next part, and then the next part, and the next part. So there's a lot of really cool special effects that they're utilizing in this maze. I believe we went on the last night, so I don't think it's really too much of a spoiler to talk about it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would maybe just talk about the one that we were like, oh my god, that was awesome.
Yes.
Instead of talking about all of it in detail.
If anyone's seen The Conjuring 2...
Yes, The Conjuring 2.
You'll be familiar with the nun painting that what's his name painted?
I don't know. Ed Warren?
Warren, yeah.
Did he paint it in the
He
in
painted
the movie?
it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like, I've been dreaming about this for days. I just had to get it, and he painted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he and then if you remember the scene where the shadow of a nun moves to the painting, and then you see the real fingers curl around, and then she pops out, that happens
pretty
in the
much
maze.
happens. But we didn't think that was going to happen.
We
just
didn't
by
think it was
looking at
logistically possible.
Because you're watching the shadow move across the wall and end at the painting, and then you see the fingers come out, and it looks like a wall.
A solid wall.
So when we're looking at that happening, I'm like, oh, okay, well, they're just going to
have the nun
have
pop
the
out
fingers,
somewhere else
and
or
then,
something.
and then she pops out somewhere else. Whoop-de-doo. No. She comes out of the wall from like a little trapdoor area, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And we didn't see the seam on that at all. And it was terrifying. And it was awesome too.
Yeah.
I was really, really, really thoroughly impressed.
The whole maze was just fantastic.
Oh, the other thing that they did that I thought was kind of cool that not many people do, they did it for Knott's for a little while, but they had somebody in our group that wasn't with our group. They were working with WB. So we went into a specific room. A monster jumped out and grabbed him and dragged him into the closet.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic because I wasn't expecting that to happen at all. You know, when you go into a haunted house, you don't expect somebody to get tackled, essentially.
Yeah.
But I was really impressed with all of that. And then moving on, they also have the tour that takes you around on the little golf carts. This was more fun than scary to me. I know a lot of people on our little golf cart were easily scared.
Yeah.
But it was also really funny just what they had set up. So you would drive around the back lot and in like different locations where they filmed like True Blood or something, and then there was vampires there, or driving through the sets, and then there'd be like crazy people or zombies and, you know, kind of traditional things like that. And
yeah.
They would talk about different movies that filmed in that area. I don't feel like they filmed too much horror movies there, so it was a lot of Gilmore Girls was here and this was here.
Yeah, but it was kind of fun too that way because it was like. It was kind of, in a way, it was kind of like you were on just a normal tour, and then, you know, all hell breaks loose on the way, you know? So
yeah,
it's kinda,
and I don't mind that.
Yeah, no, I did like it, and it was fun, and I got startled a few times, especially the first time someone jumped out from, like, the shadows.
Kind of not expecting it.
Yeah, and so it was fun, it was pretty short, and then it drops you off at the, what's that?
The Studio Store, Central Park.
Yes, yeah. And so you can look at costumes from, like we said before, from It and The Conjuring, but then you're also have open to you everything that's there, like during the day
with,
too.
Yeah, the daytime
Yeah,
tour.
so they're normal exhibits you can go and look at. You know, you can get your picture taken on a broomstick for Harry Potter, things like that. So it was a lot of fun.
And they had the real painting of the nun there, which was terrifying.
That was so cool. Oh, and Annabelle, the real Annabelle.
Yeah, the real Annabelle doll was in there as well. Outside of those two things, they had the It VR experience, which was the same thing that was at San Diego Comic-Con. And then they also had
the makeup
tutorial, which when we went in, there really wasn't much going on.
Well, it started at 9. It started on the hour every hour, and so we went in at like 9:40.
Gotcha.
So I think they were wrapping up. But yeah, but that was cool. And if you watch Face Off, you might have seen a few familiar faces in there, which was pretty neat.
And then they also had a house. The house that was used in Gremlins had a whole bunch of projections in the windows of gremlins running around and causing a ruckus, which was kind of fun. And then throughout the that little center area, they had posters for like missing kids from It and things like that. And they also had Georgies walking around.
Yeah.
And we were making fun of the Georgies because they all look so different.
Yeah.
One had a missing arm, which was Stumpy Georgie.
One was very tall.
Which was Growth Spurt Georgie. And then there was one that was very tan Georgie. Then there was I'm on my break coughing to leave me alone Georgie.
Yeah.
That was over by the Kneebolt house.
We just made a joke about that throughout the night. It was really funny.
Yeah.
And then food wise, they had food trucks. They had about 4 food trucks there. And then they had several little locations for bars, so you could get drink tickets.
Drink tickets were $10 for a drink.
Yeah.
That's how much it was.
A little pricey. But...
Yeah. So, all in all, I mean, I had a freaking blast at this thing. I thought it was just so different, so fun, so refreshing to have something like this.
Yeah, and for the most part, it doesn't get too crowded because on average, I think they said it was like 600 to 800 people a night because it is a small event. And the night we went, I think they said they sold like 1,300 tickets.
Yeah.
But it didn't honestly feel that bad. I mean, some of the lines did get long because, of the pulsing effect of the mazes. They only let in small groups at a time. But like I said before, there was so few that, you could stand to wait in a line for 45 minutes. And still do everything.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we pretty much did everything. The only one that we didn't wait in was the tram, like the tour.
Yeah.
We didn't wait for that one, but we still had ample time at the end when we left.
We left an hour before it closed, so...
And ultimately, do we think this is a cool event? Yes. Do we think it's worth the ticket price that it's being sold for? Not at all.
Not quite yet, but I think I have all the hopes in the world that it will improve in future years. Hopefully the price doesn't go up with it.
I mean, hell, if this is their first attempt, this is a great first attempt.
Exactly.
It's really fun.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what they do in future years, after they, kind of learn what works, what doesn't, and I'm excited to see what they do.
If the ticket price was like $30, I'd say, hell yeah. That's a pretty good price for what they have going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this year. But in the future, when it does get bigger, I expect that price point to move up.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year it doesn't move up at all because I don't think it deserves to go up in price.
Yeah, no,
we'll see what happens.
Hopefully it stays the same price next year.
Yeah. So ultimately, really, really fun time. We went on the last night, so when they come back next year, if they come back next year, make sure to check them out.
Yes.
Horror Made Here. So let's not waste any more time. Let's head on over to the conversation we had with Rick and Johanna about Halloween Horror Nights 27 in Orlando, Florida.
Enjoy!
We're here sitting with some very good friends of ours. We are here sitting with Rick West and Johanna Atilano from Theme Park Adventure and Midsummer Scream. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
We both got to experience Halloween Horror Nights 27 for the first time together. I'm doing air quotes. They can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes.
Our trips overlapped like a few hours.
Yes, pretty much. And it was the first time that you got to experience Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights, and it was ours too.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of feel going into this? Because you're so used to going to Hollywood's Halloween Horror Nights. Did you have any kind of like pre-existing thoughts before going in?
Well, going into it, we were moist. Because it was hotter than the hubs of hell.
Really
there was a hurricane in the Gulf.
Yeah.
So it was like 96 degrees with 95% humidity. And literally it was the worst. I think it was the worst weather I've ever felt, like anywhere. So that was a little bit of a fun suck. But it was something that, as long as TPA's been around, I've wanted to go and see that. And I know that Johanna's wanted to go her entire adult life to see this, and Well, the catalyst came one morning when I woke up, and we got the email that they were closing T2 3D. And it was like, oh, man, that sucks. And then they're closing it, like, soon. And we're like, oh, man.
Less than a month
yeah, we're not
away.
going to get to see it for IAPA or whatever, right? And so but in a matter of hours, it went from, oh, man, to Johanna, like the little devil on my shoulder. She's like, we could go. And I'm like, what do you mean we could go? She goes, we could go for the closing. I was like, dude, we're going to be there like 4 weeks after that for IAPA for a week. We're not going to just go. And, well, we could go to Horror Nights, too. And I was like,
Stars were just aligning at that point because they announced that it was closing on October 8th. So, naturally, October 8th means haunt season. And haunt season means Halloween Horror Nights, Halloween, and everything else that's happening in October. So I did push a little bit.
Well, that's how
That
she
means you
sweetened
get
the
to
pot.
expand
Yeah.
what you do normally during Halloween anyway.
Oh, sure.
So it's a major plus.
Well, because the thing, people always ask us, they're like amazed that we've not been. And the thing is, so we both work in the industry, and so we literally go every November for like 10 days to IAPA. And if we're working for companies that are going there, the companies pretty much pay for the trip. So it's very hard for us then to justify the out-of-pocket expense of going when we're going to turn right around and go pretty cheaply, for IAPA. So we just have never done that. And so, she's kind of needling me about, well, we could go Halloween Horror Nights. And then I said, well, if we're going to really do it, I mean, I've always wanted to go to Halloween, in Tampa. And she goes, well, we could do that too. And I'm like, oh, shit. All right, well, I guess we're going to go to,
right?
I guess we're going to Florida. Yeah.
There you go.
So that's how it happened.
Yeah, and it's fantastic because, like I said, you get to cover this all for your website, Theme Park Adventure, which, by the way, is a fantastic website. Before I even was doing this podcast, before I was doing a lot of things that I was doing, your website is something that I would always go to. So it was always fantastic, and knowing that you're going to be able to reach out and do Hollow Scream now and Halloween Horror Nights 27, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly, and it was very, it's very surreal, It was very close to, like, when you go to a ride opening that you've been following for a few years and you finally go into a new land and a new ride.
It
was kind of like the same thing. It's like when we walked in to Horror Nights and the music's going and people are screaming and monsters are roaming and you're like, okay, this is a surreal moment, kind of like when you go to a new attraction for the very first time.
Yeah, and it's been around for 20 plus years, right?
Yeah,
and it's
27.
been on
27
exactly.
years.
So it's been around. It's been on Travel Channel. I grew up needing to go to this event, and to finally go was just a dream come true. I'm just surprised we didn't pull the trigger early enough, or before.
Yeah,
I can't believe
I'm
it took
actually surprised.
T2.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's taking you that long to go see something like that, especially given how much you guys love those types of events.
Yeah, we just... Again, it's the whole cost.
It was IAPA mostly.
Yeah.
But how about you guys?
We it was a shock for me, at least, because like you said, watching it on Travel Channel, seeing all these clips, you kind of have an idea of what it's going to be going into it, and like you said, you kind of nailed it on the head. It's surreal. Because you're all of a sudden you're in the experience and you're like, oh crap! I've been wanting to do this for so long.
And you dream about it.
Now I'm here.
Watch it.
Yeah.
It was
pretty remarkable.
It was also a little bit like disconcerting because it's like we go to the California haunts all the time. We're like, okay, you go left. This is what you do first, and it's like, what do you do?
Where do I go?
Yeah,
Because you have no idea where anything is.
Yeah, exactly. It was a little unsettling at first. It was like, this is all new. I don't know what to do.
I read up a little bit on strategy. I mean, even though we had the express line, you still want to know what the best way to experience these haunts are. Mm-hmm. But newcomers, we just kind of went with it.
And our day, the first 2 hours were rained out. Which
we still went for it though. We were
worked out
ankle deep in water.
We were in the airport.
It.
Being delayed flying out.
Texting you.
And we were texting back and forth. It's like, we're in the airport all dry, but our plane can't take off because there's lightning and it's like Noah's Ark outside. And I'm like, oh my God, they're wandering around Horror Nights.
Maze to maze.
Yeah.
And we were the only ones, all the everyone else is like under the awnings, like, ooh, I don't know. And like no maze had any lines. We were like running from maze to maze. We're like, yeah, let's go.
We got to do a lot of mazes twice because we had Express. And we're not going to screw around with that.
Yeah.
So we got to do a lot of mazes twice because we wouldn't use our Express. Great. We were going to the normal line. So that was really good. But it was a very surreal experience knowing that I was there and I was going to be able to experience something that was very drastically different. And it's interesting, like you said, I tried to do as much research as possible because it isn't the event that I'm used to. Yep. It is something extremely different. And funny enough, the research that I did ended up not even working for what we were doing because everyone was like, you got to do all the IPs first because nobody goes to the originals. It was the complete opposite. Yeah. All the IPs had no lines and all the originals had these massive lines. But I mean, lucky for us, we were still able to get everything done.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm glad we both had Express. Just so you don't have to stress about it. If you have one night, just might as well just spend the money, right?
Do it.
What I really loved that is, and there were differences, obviously, and we'll get into them, but what I thought was really nice for us as guests, and I'm sure for monsters too, is you wait in this, ninth circle of hell heat in the line, and every maze you go into there, you're met with this just icy blast of air conditioning. And, oh my God, that was so nice. But it stands to reason because in Florida, I mean, people will die. I mean, they'd have heat stroke in there, right? Yeah. They don't cool our mazes off like that. No. And so it was really nice going into every maze. And the same thing happened at Howl-O-Scream. Every maze you go into, it's like, oh my God, it's icy cold in here and I never want to leave.
The first thing we did was The Shining, and the first scene is in the snow, and you're like, oh my God, it feels amazing.
Yes, absolutely. I took my pants off. It was amazing.
I just went in naked, straight up, free balling.
With the Horror Nights thong. It was amazing.
Poncho only.
Poncho only.
Yeah. Sweat sticking against the plastic.
I got steamy underneath, so I could see through it still. It's fantastic. The event as a whole, it was interesting because from our Hollywood perspective, its feel was very different. It's really hard to describe because it almost felt, the only way that I could verbalize it when I was there was it felt like Scary Farm mixed with our Halloween Horror Nights because their scare zones weren't so focused on being hardcore scary. They were able to have fun.
It was warmer.
It was much more
warmer atmosphere.
Yeah, which was nice for me at least. And then having the original mazes on top of that felt very familiar. And very different at the same time.
Yeah, it's, everyone asks us, and I'm sure everybody asks you, what is better? And you just can't compare it. The scale of this park alone is just, you can't compare it to Hollywood, where it was never meant to be a theme park. And Halloween Horror Nights just kind of wedged into this park and kind of grew out of that. So with 27 years of experience in Orlando, they naturally have this environment that is just works for them. I mean, I know it started in Islands of Adventure, but that's another big park, right?
Yeah.
Did it start in Islands?
No, it started in the studios, and then it moved over to Islands.
But
and
still,
then it was double in both, and then it went only back to the studios.
I remember that. But still, large park. They have room. They have the backstage access, and we just don't. And I think that's just the biggest difference is size and just the way things are. Mm-hmm. You can't compare it.
I think it's weird. So for me, I think that, and I think Johanna disagrees with me a little bit on this too, but at least for my impression was, like, walking into it, it was interesting to me because at least I could tell, like, right away, to me it felt like we're 3,000 miles away from home, but it's the same product. You could tell, looked like, smelled like, felt like. To me it was like, it's the same. You could tell it comes from the same company.
Yeah, I'm with Johanna.
It's under the same umbrella.
Sure. To me, it felt like Horror Nights, and the difference to me was it felt like ours on steroids. Because there was more of it.
I could see that. I think I'm it's funny that you two are agreeing and me and Rick are agreeing.
Well, they're obviously wrong. So it's okay.
No, I could definitely agree with you on that because when you go into the mazes, things definitely feel very, very familiar.
Yes.
And the quality of set design, the quality of the maze is definitely there. But then the differences being the types of scares, the type of acting, the type of environment that they're trying to portray is the difference between the two. And personally, for me, if I were to choose one, if I had the option, if both were either on my left and right, Hollywood on my left, Orlando on the right, I'd choose the right side. because
Absolutely.
I prefer the environment that they are creating there as opposed to what we have in Hollywood. And I also really love the original stuff that they're doing as well.
Yeah, that wins it for me, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
their non-IP stuff was freaking ridiculous.
Oh,
And
dead
at
on
it was amazing.
And at an arguing point, could be considered better than what they were doing with the IPs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and a lot
yeah.
of people are thinking that this year. We'll save that conversation.
I mean, imagine, and I tell people that haven't been, I said, imagine, because nobody has the budget that Universal has for their haunt stuff, right? So imagine the Universal polish and budget on a non-IP maze. You don't get that anywhere else. And it was freaking ridiculous. It was amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
Gabe and I just had this conversation where when Hollywood has done non-IP,
Yeah.
like La Llorona,
fantastic.
El Cucuy,
Yeah.
we love
Amazing.
them. They're always our
Yeah.
favorites of the year. And for the past few years, they haven't done any.
No.
No, it's the demand is just so different in Hollywood as well.
It's very, very different.
When the crowd just wants The Shining, they want the
Yeah.
IPs. It's familiar. And I think just Orlando has grown up with originals. And recently they started really doing the IPs, the shared IPs especially.
Yeah.
So they've been very lucky.
I don't know that I don't know that the audience would care.
You're in Hollywood. People
Yeah.
expect movie quality things. They're expecting movie IPs.
But if we had
It's
more,
gone too far though.
But if we had
It
more,
has.
but if we had
Yes.
more originals, like say you had an American Werewolf, or you had a Shining, or you have a Halloween, that's cool. People get that and they love that because those are always going to be your anchor attractions, right? But I'm telling you, this year, if we had lost American Horror Story or if we had lost Saw, I don't think anybody would have cared. If there was a really cool original IP maze in there, nobody would have said, "Oh man," but these original ones. I think people would have been like, "Oh, it's really cool that they have original stuff."
I think in terms of ticket sales and the demand, they will line up for The Shining versus La Llorona.
That's true.
And for the price,
But they're already in the gate,
Hollywood,
though. But they're already in the gate.
They'll
No,
only line
we're
up for
talking
the
about
shorter
prior
line.
to that. Like when it comes
Yeah.
down to marketing, it's easier to
It's-
market The Shining than
Well,
it
of
is
course,
easier
any
to market
IP,
something-
sure.
And
Yeah.
they have been successful. The park has sold out with these IPs, so I can see the transition of just doing IPs. It's a smart move, technically. You know?
And then when they were doing their originals, you could tell that they were playing to a large audience that happens to come there, which is a large Hispanic audience, which they did La Llorona and they
El
did El
Cucuy.
Cucuy, which is very much two huge Latino folklore
Very
legends.
smart and deliberate.
Yeah,
sure.
very smart and deliberate too. So they are playing to their audience, and I think they do know what they're doing to a certain
But the question is, when does that run out? What are you going to have? Insidious 6?
I think it has this.
Saw
I think
7? I
it's-
mean,
I think
it
it's
will.
shown
it will run out.
It's reared its ugly head already when
Yeah.
we have these mazes that are based on recycled things that we've had.
Sure.
it's hard though. You know, I don't know if you've been following the patterns of the wait times, but Ash vs. Evil Dead has been the lowest wait times of the entire season, whereas American Horror Story and Saw have been 90 minutes. So you can tell the demand of certain IPs or mazes are towards the popular ones.
Well, it's
Yeah.
what's hot,
Which is
right?
what's hot? What is Freddy versus Jason or Titans of Terror? Of course, that's going to be the hottest one.
Yeah.
But Ash vs. Evil Dead, even Krampus last year was the lowest wait time because but it's not as popular as American Horror Story.
Which makes me so
Yeah,
sad. It
that was the
so
best maze of
good
last year.
Yeah.
But people would
so
rather
blame
wait.
the audience.
Oh, I
Damn
am
it,
for
people want better. Just want better
That's
things.
probably no one listening to this podcast.
No.
It's everyone else who doesn't listen to this
Yeah.
podcast.
Whereas like people who show up and you over here and they're like, oh my god, Freddy and Jason are the scariest thing ever. I want to go on that one.
sure. Just like that.
That's how they sound. That's exactly how they sound. But anyway, let's get back to
Okay,
Orlando.
Yeah, let's go back to the other coast.
Let's kind of go through the scare zones because these are some of the big, like the major draws of this attraction for me because they have so many things that are very unique and different.
And it's something that Hollywood doesn't focus on.
Yeah, Hollywood
Yeah.
I don't feel focuses super hard on their scare
And
zones.
I wish they did.
I do too.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think we're getting back into it.
Yeah.
Halloween is fantastic. I think that's a great idea for it,
Yeah.
but everything else is very difficult, and I could talk about that for a lot longer, but I'll leave it at
Another
that.
podcast.
We missed the
Another
fire
podcast.
pots this year.
Fire pots?
Yeah.
What?
You know, the gateway, like where Halloween.
Oh yeah, with the fire blowing up. We don't
yeah,
have that.
That's
that
not
was
their fault.
No, it's a construction thing, so
Yeah.
that's why they didn't have them this
Yeah.
year. But
So
Okay, scare zones.
So the
Yeah.
scare zones that we have at Halloween Horror Nights 27 in Orlando are Altars of Horror, The Purge, Invasion, Trick or Treat, and Festival of the Deadliest. And it's no surprise to me that Trick or Treat has been the shining star and beacon in any of these things. Yeah. And it has been all over Instagram, all over Twitter, all over Facebook, just people constantly on this thing. And I agree. The environment that they've created is something that I haven't seen before at an event like that, other than like a ghost town, which is, has its own gravitas, but this is something that's fantastic, and it has a nice mix of scare actors with little show moments and everything else too.
And fans of the movie have been wanting it for so long.
It's been on that list of
it has
IPs.
been. And even if you didn't know the movie, it's a great environment because it's Halloween. It's
exactly.
pure
It's
Halloween.
People even if you haven't seen the movie, you get it.
The pumpkins, like, holy crap.
Yeah,
it's
in the
just
trees.
everywhere.
Yeah.
The fire pod coming out of the pumpkin. And it's just, I think anyone could connect to it, whether or not you're a huge fan of the film, and I think that's what made it successful. And I'm sure this is a test of maybe a maze next year.
Yeah, I think that they are on the same trajectory that we were with Dark Christmas. I think that this is maybe Florida testing the waters to see how a Sam maze would do, and it would be ridiculous. It would be really, really fantastic. And I think this probably is the precursor to something like that.
I
I hope so.
They didn't do a maze because the director was on Godzilla this year.
That makes sense.
And I bet you anything they would have. And then maybe next year, I'm assuming he's available, not filming the sequel, that they can do an awesome maze.
Yeah, I'd be really excited to see that.
Hopefully both coasts.
I know.
Yeah, that would be the thing, is that I would really want it to come over here, because I don't know if we're going to make it over to Halloween Hornets in Orlando again.
Yeah,
not anytime.
We're not going to be. Yeah, we decided we would do it like maybe every 3 or 4 years.
We want to travel more anyway to check out things. I'm sure you guys
other
too.
stuff in general.
There's so many amazing haunts around the U.S. that's easy to get to.
We do like the idea of, we try to take one weekend out of the Halloween season and go to another state.
Yeah.
And see how they do it. Yeah. This year we did too. We go to Orlando, and we just got back from Las Vegas.
Dude, I would want to go to Pennsylvania.
Dude, it's all on our list.
Massachusetts.
Pennsylvania, I want to do Philly.
Yeah, we're thinking New Orleans is big on our radar.
Salem, man.
For next
Gotta
year.
Go to Salem.
Yep, John Cook just did that.
Yes, he did. There's too many great things to go see.
Yeah.
So
that's all right. One a year, we'll do it. We'll just
pick them off.
We'll pick them off one at a time. Yep, exactly. That's what we do.
So the other scare zones that they've had, Purge is something that we're all very, very familiar with, and I don't know about you two, but we're both very sick of the Purge. I think the Purge needs to be purged.
Well,
for a while at least.
As much as I am over the Purge in Hollywood, I really appreciated it over there. I think they did something way different than we have ever done in Hollywood.
People riding freaking motorcycles.
Yeah, that was pretty rad.
Flipping out because the freaking truck drove in.
The whole sacrifice they did up on the catwalk thing.
And the older lady doing on top of the bus.
People are scared.
That was pretty legit. That was pretty legit.
It was definitely more showy than what we've had in Hollywood in the past.
Yeah.
Definitely more epic, I would say. I mean, remember when they got rid of our actors because of the
controversy.
The controversy with speaking roles.
Yes.
So that was gone in ours. So that was nice.
Controversy. There was controversy because they got rid of them.
That is actually very true.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, it was really cool to see the motorcycles because they've never done that in ours. And then just it's a big show, which is what we appreciate a lot, is just making the extra effort than just doing scare actors.
Exactly.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I mean, I think for me, I've just seen The Purge so many times that I'm kind of sick of it, but it doesn't mean that I can't appreciate what they were able to do with it, I was very appreciative that they were able to take it outside the realm of just kind of like a normal scare zone, which is what we've had in the past. So it was very cool to watch, them do the sacrifices up on the bus, or even like the cleanup crew where the guy was shoving bodies into the meat grinder and it would spray water out at people.
Yeah.
And it was a healthy amount of water. It wasn't just a spray. It was like streams of water.
It was very hot.
Yeah, they got sprayed by another actress down the way. I don't know what she was doing. I think she had a chainsaw. But anyway.
Something. I don't know. But plenty of that. And it was a very fun scare zone. And that was right in front of the Mummy in that area. So
it was great. I think that I don't think that anybody would be heartbroken if 2018 didn't have Purge.
Oh yeah.
In it,
exactly.
Right? It's kind of run its course.
I mean, I get it. It is an easy scare zone and fun scare zone.
And they have a relationship now with Blumhouse, so there's that. But again, for an event that, I mean, Horror Nights is a big event, but it's not because it only has a finite amount of things it can do. To keep repeating the same thing over and over again, that gets thin ice pretty quickly.
Especially with the amount of money that you're spending to go to the event.
It's not a cheap event to go
which
to,
is
right?
another talking point.
Yeah, so I think that certainly if they move along to something else next year, no one's going to be heartbroken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then some of the other stuff they have was Ultras of Horror, which is something that I found really interesting because I haven't actually seen this done before, which is essentially their entry scare zone that they had, but they featured all of the main IPs that they were featuring throughout the event that night, and they had some of the more iconic characters in that scare zone. It felt a little hodgepodgey, but it was also very cool to see the Grady twins walking around, and then some lady with the jaw trap on her head.
And they were photo-friendly.
And they were photo-friendly,
they
so you
were.
could go up and take a photo with them,
So
which
I
is
think
fantastic.
that was the
whole
reason
point.
that was there. Yeah, I think that served that purpose.
And there wasn't a ton of scare actors because if they were to do that, that's that main thoroughfare in.
It was,
so it would cause a wreak havoc.
It was, I think, one big photo op. I think.
It was a very cool area to kind of just sit in and look at everything because they had a lot of iconic.
And that's how we
characters.
went in. We didn't go the other way. We went straight in through all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came back through it because we had scare actor dining experience, so we went and did
So
other
you went
stuff.
right. Yeah, you're right by
Went
Jimmy
through.
Fallon.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the other scare zones they've had in the past, but what makes Hollywood better in a way for the entry experience is that we do have an epic kind of welcome area. This was kind of, it wasn't as scary as I think I anticipated, or an epic
Or
entry, point.
It kind of
It was like the trailers
eased
before the
into
movie.
it.
It was an
It kind of
intro.
eased into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, definitely eased
Yeah.
into it. It was like the trailers before.
Yeah, and what
you
I've
know?
appreciated with Hollywood, you got the go-go dancers, you got the epic music really loud, and I mean,
You
in the past
usually
years
have the
we've had
fire
the fire
pots going off. Yeah.
and this was kind of like, oh, okay, intro to the mazes we're about to see. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so cool, but I mean, maybe next year we'll.
That's funny.
Or
that
next
you-
time we go, right?
It's funny that you mentioned that. Like, I do think that Hollywood's entrance and opening is a little bit more sexier and a little
More
Yeah.
dramatic.
more dramatic.
Sure.
You know, I do agree with that.
You have a
That
sense of arrival
was,
here.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned it, like that was something that was missing a little bit. Was a little bit more drama to come into the event. Like, oh my god, you have
and,
people to look around and kind of get overwhelmed.
and to me, that's really important for any event, like Ghost Town and Not Scary Farm, is you immediately walk into that fog-filled
Yeah, Fog Alley.
It's
alley.
insane. It's insane.
And that is your entry experience, whether it's your first time or your 100th time. It's still exciting. So, I mean, we'll see next time we visit. Maybe it'll change, but it was fine.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's interesting, and I'll just this is the preface to this is none of us have anything to judge by because we
Yes.
It's
right we don't have
So
anything to
it's a-
compare
it's an
to.
honest
So you're hearing from
answer, yeah.
noobs, complete noobs. So we don't have anything to compare
Yeah.
to. Yeah,
That's fine.
We only have Hollywood to compare to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then going there past that, you have Invasion, which was kind of almost like a silly alien abduction scare zone
With
which
one big ass piece, there was that
one
huge
big
saucer.
that crashed.
Are you kidding me?
I
We
love
came
it was
around the
just this
corner.
one.
Yeah, but we came around the corner and I was like, holy shit, that's a big piece that's crashed. We don't have anything like that. It was
that's-
really big.
That's because they leave their stuff out all day.
They do.
And
It
now
was
it's not on a
away.
wheel.
Crazy though.
It's literally
They
just
can
there.
have more epic pieces.
Even the
Yeah.
ground was all broken up. Like it
Yeah.
upheaved the asphalt and pavement, and
But that, yeah.
oh, it was really good.
That
That's
thing
what-
must have come down at a very steep angle for it to land on the steps like that. Just saying.
Let's not get into detail. Let's just move this along.
But that's what I respect about Orlando is the sets and the effort they make to make a small scare zone, relatively small scare
It
zone.
was tiny.
Fairly
Oh, it
epic.
was very,
Yeah.
very,
the
very
fog and the soundscape and that one big ass set piece is pretty awesome, even for a tiny little scare
Yeah,
zone.
it was
So
cool.
it's the effort that counts, and I just really appreciate that because our props are just not very good.
And you had a
I feel
full-on
like,
conversation with the alien.
oh well, we did.
How did you talk to the alien? Through your hands?
It's a podcast. They can't see you doing
You
that.
didn't hear my finger?
Johanna
they
looks
can't
like the
see
crab
that.
people from South Park.
Yeah, she was just doing.
from South Park,
I don't know
she's
what
just
the
like-
hell that was right now.
I
doing
probably
her
had
hands
5
like
beers at that
claws.
point, so we were talking about anything.
Deep conversations.
Yep.
One thing that I found interesting is that I listened to UUOP, which is the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, and they were reviewing the event, and they were talking about how This scare zone in particular has actually changed throughout the event. So we actually got it at a point where it had found its stride. Because before, the aliens were very much, according to them, they were saying the aliens were very much trying to be menacing, like coming at people and getting in their face and trying to be scary.
Interesting, yeah.
And it kind of transitioned into the aliens being a little bit more curious of people
Like
and coming
flowing.
up to them and flowing and stuff, which I find to be a lot more entertaining than them
fun.
trying to be menacing, because they didn't look menacing.
Yeah,
they
they
weren't
didn't.
scary
They were a little-
aliens. They were a little silly. Like, they would take their long
Yeah.
finger and put it in your face, and you're like, I don't know where your finger's been. Get out of my face. But
Why are you sticking it in there? That's what Rick asked.
don't probe me, bro.
I was like, just smell it. You'll know where it's been. What?
Oh, good God.
Did I
But
say that?
overall, I thought the scare zone was not that scary, but I found it extremely entertaining.
Yeah, it was just eye candy. Is what that,
very
that
much
one.
eye candy.
Yeah.
The fact is, they didn't need to build that set. They just did.
They could have had aliens and the Jeep out there, but they went up and beyond and had that ridiculous crashed flying saucer.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
It was awesome.
It was very, 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 very cool. Then after that, the last scare zone was Festival of the Deadliest, which I have to say was my least favorite out of all of them. It was
It was pole dancers, the scare zone.
it was pole dancers, the scare zone. Lots of pole dancers that were on kind of movable floats that kind of you had to like walk around throughout
and then
the street.
there was like one monster that was obviously just security for the pole dancer. Like I just found myself just very like
aware of your situation.
yeah.
It was pole dancers and stilt walkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get to see the big stilt walker that was like the big skull guy who was like the
we
main
saw him.
dude.
We
We
saw
didn't
him.
even get to see him.
It was our last zone of the night.
Yeah,
So because
we
we
left
came
that
from the
way.
entrance, we went around the circle. So we weren't really, we were exhausted at that point, but nothing stood out other than the cool characters. And it is sexy, which is, it's always good to spice it up a bit.
Now, during the day, though, the parade, it's poles with a Z. Not a family-friendly parade, but it's great. It's fantastic.
Oh my.
I remember, like, a lot of people are like, whenever you see scare zones, it's clowns with a Z or corpse with a Z. I found it really interesting because it's like, everyone's like, that's so stupid. Why are you doing Z? You're not edgy. It's because of copyright.
Yep.
They need to have something unique
so they
and
can,
different.
They can own that or be original so they don't
Yeah.
get sued.
I never realized that. Poles
funny.
with a Z.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. We gave
Lots
them
of
so
stiff
much
poles
crap
going
for
through that area.
Gabe, just keep on moving. Keep moving along.
So that wraps up all the scare zones. I actually found them really refreshing. I love them in general. It definitely felt a lot more. It felt more homey to me than it did when I'm at my own Halloween Horror Nights.
I would say that in the past couple of years, we certainly felt lacking this year because both the international streets weren't used.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
They're completely blocked off.
We've been completely spoiled I think the best was when it was Dark Christmas, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
that
It was
Dark
Dark
Christmas was
Christmas, and then on the other
phenomenal.
side there was The Purge or whatever it was.
It was Dark Christmas, and then it was a corpse.
Yeah.
The World War II
Victorian
stuff.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When those two are like going off, that's great. But to have them both knocked out this year was just
You're
it felt
missing
really
missing
light
a lot
on
of
scare
atmosphere.
zones.
But I also always felt like, even like I loved having the scare zones in those two streets, but they were very easily avoided.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like
You would have to go out of your way to do it.
Have
Sure.
to go in.
You don't have
like
to pass
I love
them.
the scare zones, like here where it's a big circle. You have
Yep.
to go through them. You had to go through trick or treat.
Which adds to the atmosphere and the overall
Yes.
effect.
You mean you
Yes.
don't have to ride Despicable Me?
Oh God, no! That's a Horror Nights thing on its own itself.
You actually had a destination on the other side of the Dark Christmas scare.
No, there was a pub there.
The yellow.
There's a destination that would get me through the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But I think that hands down the winner for scare zones, probably in any of the events that we've seen, would be Trick or Treat.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I would say if we had to choose
We
like
would've
the
stayed there
number one
forever.
scare zone of the season, I would say Trick or Treat wins
It's
pretty
pretty
hands
fun.
down.
It was the combo of humor, dark humor, the love of Halloween from all of us, of just the atmosphere and just the movie. The movie's badass. It's one of the best Halloween movies of all time.
And then lots of cool photo ops too.
Oh yeah, they allow you to take pictures.
Because you're allowed to stop and take pictures. You know, even the murderous father is there. He's taking pictures of everybody, putting his knife up to their throat, or the angry neighbor who has the bat in his hands. Lots of stuff like that.
Well, I got the picture of Johanna. I took the picture of Johanna taking the selfie with the dad.
Yes, I love that picture.
Meta. Yeah. So yeah,
there was one
cool.
Sam that wasn't having it though. He would not stop.
He would not stop.
It was
the one
gnarly
that was like the
Sam.
half-faced one.
Yeah. He was not. He was not stopping.
Well, he was
pictures.
upset, obviously, because he's gonna have faith.
Yeah.
But
question: Did you guys get to try the Liquid Fear, Liquid Courage drinks that they had at the event?
I had
Specialty.
no interest.
Okay,
I don't like sweet cocktails, so I had a lot of beer.
We both got the opposite. So you got Liquid Fear, and I got Liquid Courage. I just remember I got the vodka. You got the rum because you hate vodka.
Yes.
So they were okay. I mean, they were drinks.
It's meant to get you drunk. Really?
No.
Really?
They were not strong.
They were very light.
Really?
They're very light drinks. Yeah.
You probably would have to have like 3 of them to feel anything.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, they were pretty light.
Our friend Gary had some, but we stuck with beer. It was just so hot. I just didn't want anything sugary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they had craft beer, which is a plus, by the way.
That's different.
It wasn't
Gary
just
drank
Stella.
all the things. Gary Blumenstein.
Yeah.
He drank all the things.
He really did.
So moving forward, we'll talk about the mazes, because this is kind of the main attraction for this whole event, is their original houses and their IP houses. And we'll just go in order the way it's listed. We're looking at the maps as we talk. So, thank
Paper
you.
sounds.
Thank you for the paper
That was
sounds.
like 4D,
Just because they wouldn't believe me
Paper
otherwise.
sounds and my cocktail. There we go.
Yeah, and Nikki has beer. You have
Cheers.
cider.
There we
Yes,
go.
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. My ice is gone.
It's
But it's
100
good.
degrees
It's
in LA.
It's 100 degrees and we're all drinking.
It's literally like 90 in the room we're recording in right now.
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
We're sacrificing.
Well, we wanted to remember how it felt in Florida.
Yeah. Flashbacks.
Flashbacks. Oh God, nightmares. That was the true American Horror Story.
Yep.
Speaking of that, the first maze is American Horror Story.
You didn't plan that, did you?
No, I did. It was just terrible.
Okay.
So American Horror Story is the first maze up here on the map that we're looking at on this list. And it was a maze that I was actually very, very, very impressed with. And it had a lot of scares in there that I've never seen before and made me scream like a little girl.
My favorite trick, I think, of probably the night.
By the way,
was in
we're
there.
talking spoilers, by the way, so just FYI.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, it was a mashup of
Roanoke,
Coven,
and Asylum.
Which Coven and Asylum have never been featured in Hollywood.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was a nice surprise, which I think are two very strong seasons.
Yeah. Asylum is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Asylum is actually my favorite.
Well, I like the first season. But
First season was really good,
anyway.
but yeah. Besides that,
Yeah.
I was very, very surprised by this, and I really enjoyed the different kinds of scares that they were utilizing because for us here in Hollywood, I'm very much used to the, oh my God, there's something coming out of a hidden trap door, or
Distract
a
scare,
window, distract scare, or like a window in a dark hallway, stuff like that. There was one particular scare that made me scream, and I don't know if we're talking about the same thing.
We
or
might
not.
be. You ready?
And it was in the Asylum portion of Rick is just shaking his head. He's like,
I'm sure it's
"Come
going
on,
to be the
just
same
look at-"
one.
In the Asylum portion where you're in the main room where the dance sequence happened, and you're walking down the hall, the middle of this large room, and there's pillars on either side, and you're looking into the room, and there, clearly, visually, there is nothing there for you to get scared of. Very, very easy to walk through. And then Killer Santa freaking jumps out of
Bing, 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 bing. You are correct, sir.
I screamed.
It was great.
I got the scare.
Yeah.
Loud.
It was great.
You were like
I saw
right
it
behind
coming,
me and
but
my left, right?
I was in front of you. I saw it coming, but I was like, I didn't get scared, but I was like, that's brilliant!
Yeah.
And then Gabe got the scare.
So what we're talking about is there's a scare in this particular room where they're utilizing a mirror to make it look as though you're looking through these pillars, but you're seeing the reflection of something that you've already passed by. So the scare actor is hiding on the other side of the mirror, and it essentially looks like he comes out of nowhere.
It's the same exact way that they shot, remember in the original Nightmare on Elm Street where Freddy comes out from behind that little tree?
Yeah.
When he's chasing Tina. at the beginning. That's the same exact thing. There was a mirror there, and he came out from that. So it was awesome. I've not even seen that in
neither of us
any of the mazes here in Southern California.
I
I've
think
never
that's
seen that.
funny, as all of us from Los Angeles and used to Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood, we're all freaking out about this one scare that I'm sure Orlando is used to, but we haven't seen it utilized in any of the attractions here.
Yeah, and side note, they also they did something similar in
Halloween.
So it was like there was stuff obviously that they're aware of there that they borrow.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen that in all of our travels here, and it was great.
Their use of mirrors in general, like even to make a room look bigger.
Or dead waters to make it look like water.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another great effect.
Or the
that was
to make
really
it look
great.
a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It was
Roanoke.
brilliant. After American Horror Story, every maze I went through after that, I was very aware of the mirrors, but I appreciated them. I wasn't like, oh, that's a mirror, you know.
Well, I remember John Murdy said that he borrowed the mirror thing from their Halloween.
Yeah.
For the ending of our Halloween.
Yes.
When it was all the mirrors and all the Michaels and all that stuff.
Yes.
That was from Florida too. So they're definitely they're up with their mirror technology in Orlando and Tampa.
Guys, have you heard of this thing called mirrors? It's
with
really,
a Z.
it's a crazy.
It's with a Z. It's with a Z.
With a Z. Yes, clearly with a Z. Yeah. So I was very, very impressed with this, and it got me so many times that I couldn't even count. Like, it was ridiculous.
I wish I can remember most of it. Everything goes, as
parts go.
Well, you shouldn't have had alcohol.
Okay, I wasn't that drunk. But
they had similar scenes, like the butcher taking the intestines out of the guy's stomach. Yeah. They had the bull head on the guy who was like strapped up
Which
on
was
there.
great.
People in cages.
Yep.
They had the whole room for Coven where the people are floating and they're facing on the walls,
really cool.
which is fantastic. Yeah. So there was a lot of different rooms and things that we have seen before and different iterations, especially because we have a Roanoke maze this year as well.
Yeah,
I will jump ahead a little bit and just say for me, I think that as a blanket, I think that Hollywood handles the IPs overall better than Orlando. That said, I think that there were some exceptions. And again, this is not based on previous year, just this year, what I've seen. I think we both agree that their American Horror Story was much stronger than ours was this year.
It's hard though because theirs is a mashup of these 3 different seasons, and you get a lot of different environments. And ours is based on just
one maze,
Roanoke, which you have very singular types of settings, which is essentially just around the house, which I'm okay with when it's done correctly and done right. And in my opinion, I really do. It's hard because I really appreciate, and I think that our American Horror Story at Halloween Horror Nights is probably one of the stronger mazes that they have this year.
Yeah.
So I think it's really hard to compare the two just based on the fact that you have a lot more to work with the 3 mashup one. As
I think that just quality-wise, though, I think that theirs was... I mean, it had that mirror gag incorporated, which was really great. And I know that Johanna, she has more to say on this, but I think that just overall the scare techniques are different.
Yeah, we can go on and on about the differences of scare techniques and design choices and just creativity. I think Orlando as a whole is much stronger.
Theirs felt a lot more compact.
Yeah,
a lot more claustrophobic.
Variety of scares and just the differences you felt between each maze, and everything felt different. Well, nothing felt similar.
My biggest problem with Hollywood is predictability. So I really appreciated everything Orlando did, and like with the IPs specifically, it is a case by case basis for me on which one I preferred. Yeah. Like the American Horror Story in particular. Their Roanoke portion, I preferred ours, but you can't compare the Asylum and Coven, so obviously I liked what they did.
Yeah, and obviously like having 3 in 1 is pretty cool because you get a taste of the best of awesome seasons for American Horror Story.
And I thought they did a better job of spreading out those seasons throughout the maze. Yeah. Because last year we had Freak Show, we had Murder House, and we had Hotel. And I felt like it was... barely any Freak Show, barely any Murder House, all Hotel. I felt like theirs
was the current season.
It was the current season, but I felt like theirs did a really good job of spreading the 3 out and making you feel like you got an even amount of those 3 seasons, even though Roanoke was the most recent at the time.
Yeah.
Because they're doing Cult now, and that's completely different.
Yeah.
So, but I think American Horror Story, was a thumbs up in general. I think it was just really, really well done and really, really smart.
I think in both parks it was good.
And I'm glad we ended it on that note.
I think both parks did a good job with American Horror Story.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just different. Like, you can't compare three versus
apples,
one.
oranges.
Yeah.
And on to something completely different. The next maze is a original maze, and it's Dead Waters. And I think out of any of the houses that I've been in at any haunt so far, this has had the most incredible facade that I've seen in a long time.
It was jaw dropping. Oh yeah, and for us, it was our first maze for the night. First maze ever for Halloween Horror Nights, so you can imagine our reaction.
That is a great start.
We passed American Horror Story, we passed Shining, we went straight to Dead Waters, so you imagine our reaction when we saw that big facade of the ship. We were just like...
It was a sunken...
Oh my God.
It's a sunken...
Riverboat.
Yeah. Imagine the Mark Twain with a Liberty Bell on its side sinking
listing heavily,
Yeah.
And it's sinking in the water, and they have mirrors on the floor, so it looks like water's reflecting. And you walk in, and the first thing you have to do is walk sideways through...
It was like a tilt house.
The boat, it was tilted. Yeah. So that was really impressive, and that was our first experience with something that was non-IP related.
I'm glad we did that first.
What threw me at the onset there was at Universal Orlando, all their mazes are pretty much in warehouses. They're in sound stages, right? So the facades don't happen until you actually cross that threshold, which is a little weird because you wait in line, and suddenly you're just at this big box, and you go in through a regular door, and then you're in the maze, type of thing. Whereas here, at least it's different because here you have an arrival statement, right? You actually have a facade. I don't even know that I call it a facade there because you're already in it. Yeah, it's already part of the experience.
When you guys started talking about facade, I was like, what facade? Like,
yeah.
It was part of the maze already
the entry
for me.
to the maze.
Yeah, it didn't really bug
But being
me.
the first thing you see, it was just a big wow moment. When you go in and that paddle boat is listing and sinking,
So that was kind of cool because it was, you see the box, the warehouse, but the minute you go in, you see
you're enveloped in this world.
Yeah, so you're immersed. And
drink.
Ready?
I'm out.
Woo!
Oh no.
Rick's sad Rick.
I lose.
Rick's driving me, so...
I lose.
Except I'm sure we sweated it
all out?
all out.
Probably.
Maybe. Just lick your lips, you'll get drunk again. No, but it was definitely... I do see what you're saying is that you kind of just started looking at this.
It's a little weird because you walk in and then suddenly it's like, and go.
Yeah.
And you're already in the maze.
But at a certain point, I think that's kind of interesting because it's like, oh my God, I'm not ready yet. You're already walking in. It's too late. You're already going through. Mm-hmm. But I do find it interesting that they had this long hallway with these tree branches over the top, for this one in particular, with a voice kind of talking to you about like what's happening. And as you turn that corner, you're met with that really large visual.
It was a great
theme. Wow moment.
It was a great theme overall too. The bayou
and then the whole voodoo thing, and
the color scheme of it, of being all
the blue hues.
Yes, and the dimensionality of you go in and the sets are like 2 stories tall, and there's dimension to everything.
Yeah.
That was really impressive.
Very detailed.
Dead Waters was a little short. It was a little short.
It definitely was,
but it packed a punch.
It was one of the shorter ones. Yeah.
You had a lot of scares in a very short period of time.
They had a healthy budget for that, and it was I think pound for pound, it was really freaking gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now I missed it, but I was told that there was a zombie Mark Twain in there.
I didn't see that.
I completely missed it. Or? Yeah, there was an actor dressed as Mark Twain, but like a dead version of
everything
Mark
blends
Twain.
together.
Everything blends together. But I was told that was in there. That's
anymore.
really interesting to me.
I know.
Seriously, it's like a big blur. Overwhelming.
It very much is.
You need to. I mean, if you really have the money and the time, 2 days is good.
Oh yeah.
You do your first walkthrough, you have a good time, and the second time you just take your time and don't need to rush through everything.
I do remember us going through going, oh my God, if we only had our video camera.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if we were doing a flow through on this one, type of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Next up, we're talking Scarecrow the Reaping. And this is one I think was the one that surprised me the most.
A lot of fans like this one.
This is
like
the
one.
big one with fans. Like the avid Halloween Horror Nights goers in Orlando. This is the one that they go to all the time. And it shocked me beyond my belief. Because when you think Scarecrows, you're like, oh, that's easy. That's not that scary. Yeah. But then what they were able to do with this and their set design and the soundscape in particular with this one was terrifying.
Fantastic.
It was terrifying.
It was. It's funny hearing the Orlando fans really rave about this because they've experienced it for so many years. For me, it wasn't the top. Everybody wants it as they like it, and it is their number one favorite. For me, it wasn't, but I loved it. So. That's an interesting perspective, right? Of first-timers going to Orlando versus the fans that go every year, why it's their number one favorite, right?
But wait, was Scarecrow new this year?
Yes, it was.
So it's not a returning maze.
That's
Maybe that's why.
It just happened to be their favorite.
Yeah, it just happens to be.
Okay.
For
it's
me,
like the
it
sleeper
was,
hit.
Out of the originals, it was second to Dead Waters.
I liked it. It reminded me of a Daniel Miller maze. Really.
A little bit, huh?
Right? Yeah. It felt kind of like felt like, Red Barney and kind of felt like Cornstalkers too. I mean, obviously you're it's Scarecrows, but that one more than any of them felt
haunty.
It felt haunty. It felt like a scary farm maze for us West Coast folks to relate to, but it was really polished, and that's the one that had the bird shit room, right?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rick loved that.
what a great gag!
He was screaming.
So you go, I loved it. I was laughing and screaming. I was having a blast. So you go into this room and it is full of birds. You're in this barn that's just abandoned, and it was like full of birds, and you can hear them flying around, and you can hear them cawing or whatever. And as you're going through, you realize that there's bird poop painted on everything, but then there are these drops of water coming from above, and so you have bird crap landing in your hair, and it was just
it's one of the scariest things.
What a fun scene, and I just giggled
Rick
and
was
laughed. Oh my
like
god!
a child.
I thought it was so. That was that was probably one of my favorite things, if not my favorite thing at Horror Nights. I thought that was just fantastic.
Honestly, I forgot about it until you mentioned it.
Oh god, I thought it was great.
Rick
What a great gag. Yeah, what a great gag.
I was very much enthralled in the sets that they were building, because there was one particular room that I just couldn't stop staring at, which made it very easy to scare me, but it looked like the entire living room from the second floor had sunken and crashed into the basement.
Sure.
And that to me was just like, oh my god, did they build like a second floor and then just demolish it?
Again, the dimensionality, right?
Yeah.
Because they have the space
Everything
in
is-
these things. Yeah.
Yeah, just double. Everything
It was great.
felt bigger than it
was
really
it was solid and healthy budget, and there you go. Yep.
This maze and The Shining for me are what stood out the most with regards to sound effects that they were using with their scares. Because in Hollywood, for me, I feel like it's very repeated, just the noise, because they pop out loud stroby sound, loud
Thunder crash,
and strobe light, and then
sound bites from the film.
or something like that. But
same,
in particular, I felt like the variety of noises that they're using for
correct.
the scares
they were different.
Way better.
are very different and a lot better utilized in the situations that they're in.
Tend to agree.
We'll talk about The Shining next, but in particular this one, the noises that they used for the scarecrows made me get shivers down my spine. Like whatever sound effects they used were fantastic to me, and I found that scarier than the jump scares or them popping out at me. It's like I didn't want to hear the noise again. Yeah, I didn't want to hear it. I don't know if that bugged you or not.
It didn't bug me.
Like scared you, like
I appreciated it, but was it kind of the same sound as their vampire maze?
No, it was very different. Very, very different.
All the mazes, all their sound stingers were different and customized.
Very different.
And we picked up on that right away and thought, oh, that's different than home.
We can go on and on about how they do their scares.
The soundscapes were really good.
I think the one I didn't like the sound was the vampire one, because I don't know what it was, but I was just like, vampires don't make that sound, and I just got mad. Like
Nikki's factual.
I knew a vampire one time.
Yeah.
He didn't sound like
it
that.
doesn't make any sense, but I just found
I'm offended.
But every time like the noise went off when a vampire would pop out, I'd be like, that's not right. Like I just found myself getting like irritated.
My vampire went
Stop.
blah, blah. No, my vampire glittered. What?
But yeah, I'm jumping ahead.
Like way ahead.
Sorry.
Like way ahead.
Spoiler, Nikki.
We all know how Nikki feels about the vampire maze. Okay.
Well, we'll go to the next one. We're getting closer to the Hive, which is a
Okay.
vampire one. But the next one that we were mentioning before is The Shining. And this is one that I think we're going to disagree upon just based on some prior conversations.
Sure.
But just to kind of connect the two, this is also another one that I noticed really drastic differences in soundscape and noises that they use for their scares, and a lot of the time they were whatever weapon they were carrying. So if what's the mother's name
I don't
in the movie? I forgot her.
Wendy.
Wendy. When Wendy jumps out with her bat, it's a bat swinging noise.
Yeah.
Which to me is a lot more nerve-wracking to hear than a big loud noise or a scream, because in your head, when you hear that sound, you think something's getting swung
real,
at you. It's real. It's something in a real life, as opposed to just blah, just really loud, and you jump because of the noise. In this case, you're jumping because of you think it's real, which is fantastic. And I think we had the discussion where you think that our Hollywood version of The Shining is better than Orlando's version.
Yeah,
I think I'm on the other end where I think that
also-
Orlando's version
I like Orlando's.
is superior to our Hollywood
Especially
version.
we just went through Hollywood's again.
Yeah.
And just seeing ours again after going through Orlando's, it reaffirms even more how we do feel that Orlando's is a little bit superior to us.
And I'll let you tell me why you're wrong first before I go into
I see
3
how that
against
is.
1.
Trash talk.
No, I just think that ours is more linear and more literal, whereas Florida's was a little bit more abstract. Like when you walk in and you hear the sound of the typewriter and there's this giant typewriter on the wall, mounted to the wall. I really liked the shadow play of Jack Torrance typing away.
Which is funny because I don't like the literal. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, ours is very abstract as well. I mean, you walk through a hallway filled with papers.
And I loved that. I thought that was great. And I kept waiting for that in Florida, and it wasn't in Florida like that. And I thought that transition, using the all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, I thought that was great. That it was all over the walls. It was in the vinyl strips that we passed through. I thought that John and Chris did a really great job communicating just the sheer chaos and descent into madness with having that everywhere in front of you, and passing through that I thought was really great. I think that the challenge with ours and theirs, just the challenging scene period, is the elevator scene, right?
Yeah.
I think that ours would have been a little bit more solid if it didn't have the weird cutaways in the video. If it had just been the straight up blood pouring out of the elevator shaft, would have been great. I think that kind of the thing that was kind of lacking in both was depth, right? So in the movie, the kid is looking down the hallway at this elevator
It isn't
scene.
right in front of you.
Yeah. And I
And
think
both
that
had it right in front
if
of
there had been some way that we could have had depth to ours, I think that would have helped both of them.
Yeah.
Now, I do appreciate the fact that they went for a practical effect.
With like a spray coming out.
In
strobe
Florida's
lights,
was
like
I thought
did they do that?
I thought that was really great that they went for it. But then again, their set was smaller because it was supposed to be far away, so they tried for a forced perspective that just didn't work for me. So I'm like,
looked like just
I'm
a
looking at
scale hallway.
It's like
looking at a
It's a
miniature.
pick your poison type situation.
Yeah, I think so. It was like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at a miniature set, and that's not working for me because they have this huge, heavy black scrim in front of it.
That goes away and it's supposed to look like a picture frame or something.
it just wasn't working for me.
I didn't like the picture frame idea. I feel like you should have just been able to look at it.
Yeah.
But I prefer
I get
the
it,
practical than the projection. And you were curious to know how they did it. I think all it really was a constant spray of water coming out of one portion of it, as well as on top of painted blood that was coming out of it with a strobe light, which made it look like a lot more than it really
Yeah,
was.
it happened so fast. It's like, I don't even remember. I just remember saying, "Oh, that's actually pretty."
I just thought-
interpreted
yeah.
better than ours.
I just thought that the pacing of our maze was better. To me, I liked the flow of ours better, and I liked the I liked our party sequence better. I just, yeah. See, you disagree. Yeah. See, I just like the way that, like,
the brakes on.
No, I like the whole entry, like the hallway that we went into for ours. You know,
I do think that the character, like the great party, isn't it, is much better in ours because theirs is literally standing right in the light and he has to come out every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Ours was a nice, like,
scrim. It was a cool effect. Yeah.
But the overall party scene, I prefer Orlando's with the bartender that's talking.
The bartender was cool there.
And it's
that
like
was a great
you're
touch.
walking into something that's already happening. Where honestly, ours is like
shaker cans.
is 2 card tables with dummies and 2 real actors with shaker cans that just lazily like get half up out of their seat and shake.
I think for me it starts with the lead up to it, right? Going through the hallway with the hanging chandeliers and all that. Yeah,
you like the lead
I
up,
like the lead up and build up to the whole sequence.
The
the actual scene in Orlando's
Orlando,
is much better.
When it leads up to it, they start to fall over like they're dummies, and then they jump at someone.
Yeah, and that's a good
fun.
scare. Just overall, I thought Orlando was just interpreted better. And it is an abstract movie overall.
It's hard.
And
it's a very hard thing to put
we
into
watched
a
it right
maze.
before seeing Hollywood, so I get why you can like it if it's literal, because it is following the movie that you love. But I think the interpretation of The Shining in Orlando just made sense, given the restrictions they had for these certain scenes, like the elevator, actually like fucking all of it. It is a hard film.
Also, my biggest part was the hedge maze.
Yeah,
They actually had hedges,
the full hedge maze
in Florida. In Hollywood, it's
a portion of the hedge maze.
It's a portion where it's
And
not
then
even
all
it's
black
not
hallways.
even foliage. It's like netting that's green, and then you go through black hallway, and more
Frozen
green
Jack.
netting, and then frozen
Bye.
Jack. That's it. And it's like the illusion of a hedge maze without having to actually do the work. Where in Florida, it's a hedge maze.
Yeah.
And in particular, to speak on top of that, outside of the way that the movie is interpreted as a maze, for me, what is the breaking factor are the scares. Because a lot of the scares in Hollywood are coming from black hallways in a black window with a tarp and then a loud noise and he comes out. A lot of the scares or actually every single scare in Orlando's is environmental based, where they're coming out of a certain particular area. You know, like the first one where we see Jack, he comes out and he swings. He goes, Danny boy! And then you go through the maze, and even at the end when you go through the hedge maze, to kind of speak upon like what you had talked about, Nikki, is throughout that process of that hedge maze, you see the progression of Jack Torrance becoming more frozen and more frozen as he's searching for Danny.
Yeah, that's right.
That I
Yeah.
did like.
That was really
I thought
cool.
that was cool.
And the major difference between our Jack Torrances, just in general, is Hollywood's perspective is just a full mask.
Now, see, I like that better. I like that better than Florida's.
I'm completely torn.
Because people have different
ball cap
facial
was a bit-
features.
The ball cap was a bit jarring. It was
Yeah.
obviously
Big forehead.
like
And then
it was weird.
And then
Yeah.
people look different from the nose down. And I was like, oh, that's definitely a different
Neither
guy.
one worked. Yeah.
I do have to say, though, like, the one thing that does stand out in my head is the first time that I saw the person who was supposed to be Jack screaming, Danny, Danny boy, the thing in my mind is his facial expression that he had when he was saying it. Because to me, that was a lot more believable than just seeing a mask. It was the look in his eye, the rage that he had in his eye that when he was acting, that was more believable than a mask.
Yeah, I'm curious to learn if this was a Kubrick request to have his likeliness look similar to Jack Nicholson versus just having a guy with long hair and the same clothes.
I think across the board, people said that they didn't get the rights to Jack Nicholson.
Sorry, not Jack. Well, just the character. Like, you don't have to have a prosthetic or a mask. If you casted a guy with longish hair or a wig and have the same clothes, I think that would just be more believable than forcing it.
But I think it's hard, though, because I think you're going into something like The Shining, you expect Jack Torrance to look like Jack Nicholson.
You want something
So
at least,
that's the
at
problem,
least uniform.
right?
Yeah.
That Frozen Jack at the end of ours kind of looks like
that
mini
prosthetic,
Frozen
though.
Jack a little
It's
bit.
kind
Like
of
the proportions are a little off.
yeah, it's a little odd and abrupt. It's pretty
Yeah.
abrupt.
Yeah.
I did like how in theirs, I'm not a fan of snow machines in general because the soap makes my allergies go nuts.
Oh, really?
But I liked how they started it actually with the
That
snow
was the
blowing.
first thing we said was,
We loved
oh,
it.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Your sense of arrival with the snow blowing
Yeah.
as you're going into the maze. I thought
liked
that was
him.
cool.
I liked the Cold Jack character to have an
Yeah.
ice scene.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
We didn't really have.
No, we
so-
didn't. Ours was pretty abrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just kind of like as a period on the end of the maze, I actually kind of like ours because outside of the Frozen Jack, I like audio wise how it's kind of done because you're leaving and all you hear is "You've always been the caretaker," and you hear the music from the ballroom. To me, is very, very creepy, and it isn't always about the scary; it's about the creepy sometimes,
Sure.
which lasts a lot longer. To me, I remember that.
Sure.
So I really like our ending. There's bits and pieces that you take from either one, but
both are great.
both are great. But if I were to choose one, I would choose Orlando's over Hollywood's in a heartbeat.
Agreed.
I would choose Hollywood's.
Request.
So next up on the list is Blumhouse, or how I like to call it when we exited the maze was Noise the Maze.
Yeah,
because
I-
it was just loud.
I don't even know what happened.
I don't remember much,
It was a
honestly.
blur.
I really don't.
It was one room
Insidious?
to Sinister, one room to Purge, and then the rest was Insidious.
Oh, it was Purge in a house. I remember that. Like ours is Purge outside. There's Purge. Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally one room that looked like a house that was the Purge, which I'm pretty sure was not supposed to be the Purge, and they just happened to throw the Purge in there.
Well, we had the Happy Death
course.
Day in ours.
Which I actually really liked.
Now, see, so that goes back to I have a problem with this every time they do this. If you have an IP that you're pushing and it's a movie that nobody's seen yet, no one knows what the hell it is they're looking
That's
at.
true.
So it doesn't matter whether
Our
it's
rooms were
Happy
designed very-
Death Day
Dracula
or
Untold.
Dracula Untold, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Hello, studio. Nobody knows.
the only-
Nobody can relate.
The only
least-
exception is Crimson Peak, where
It's actually designed well.
it was wonderful,
Yeah.
and it was the trailer in maze form, which I loved that. I hadn't seen the movie yet. I love the Crimson Peak maze.
Same as It. We can all argue that, right? The It house I thought was very successful, even though none of us have seen the film.
It House.
The Neibold
The
House.
Neibold House.
Oh.
No, just
had
in
it-
general about
Yeah.
In
promoting and utilizing a haunted attraction or experience.
I was about to
promote film.
crap my pants. I was like, what did I miss? What
Silly
did I
rabbit.
miss?
Segues are for kids. We've jumped to Hollywood to a marketing for a film.
You just have to make it good.
So yeah, so if
ultimately.
it's done right, and honestly, if it like Crimson Peak was relatable because it was a direct replica of the trailer.
Yeah. And it's an environment that you actually really enjoy.
Yes.
And it's not too... I mean, Happy Death Day was literally a girl in a bed with characters.
It was 2 rooms with the same bed, same girl in the bed, and then that smiley face doll thing.
Not much context.
No,
right?
not
No,
really.
and
I mean,
challenging.
how much context do you need, though, in that type of situation?
Yeah, challenging.
You know? Yeah, it is very challenging.
Jonathan Green was talking about that. I was listening to him talking about it on his podcast, and it's like Groundhog Day, except
Murder.
horror
Murder,
style, right?
yeah.
Murder.
But not everybody knows that.
That's hard to do in a maze,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially when nobody's seen the film yet. You know,
Yeah.
so they're really running up that hill.
Well, I've seen
in
the
that
trailer
case.
and I feel like I've seen the film. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'm
probably
pretty sure I
have.
don't need to watch it.
You probably have.
Who is it?
It's probably her guy friend that she's
I
talking
think
to
it's
at the
the friend
beginning.
that gave her the cupcake. No, I'm calling it now.
I do have to defend Nikki. She is really good at calling
I'm
movies.
calling
I'm
it
not
now.
gonna
It's
lie.
that brunette friend that handed her the cupcake. She's jealous.
Happy
as shit.
birthday.
No.
Stab, stab, stab.
I haven't even seen the trailer.
No, I'm
that's
calling
how
it.
that's how interested I am.
been on
I'm
So then I
calling it
forgot
now,
it.
It's
people.
been everywhere. How
Then
did you
calling
not?
it.
Then I
We
forgot
saw it, you
because
just
I
forgot.
don't care.
You just put it out of your head. Your
Yeah.
eyes just kind of glaze
I'm not
over.
not interested. Yeah. That-
I think it
Back to
looks
Blumhouse in
I think
Orlando.
it looks fun too, but it's the cupcake friend. She's the murderer.
Back to Blumhouse in Orlando.
back to the maze.
So we had Sinister, we had The Purge, and we had Insidious. And it was mostly Insidious Chapter 4, right? It was just kind of like a mashup of all the Insidious movies, I actually think. I wasn't really a fan of this maze in general. It just felt like a hodgepodge of things that got thrown into one maze. I mean, the ending was kind of interesting because you have all those different monsters from all the different films in one room, which is kind of interesting. But overall, I didn't feel like any of the scares in this maze were effective at all. It felt just kind of like half-assed, second thought. Like, not much thought was being put in.
Blumhouse stew.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right.
I mean,
But, like,
especially when you look at everything else.
It wasn't as detailed as everything else was. And ours was just stronger. You can tell when it transitioned to each movie.
Yeah.
Sinister, Insidious, The Purge, Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
You knew when it transitioned, and you recognized the scenes, or you at least knew what was going on. And I don't remember this maze very much.
I don't remember
I remember a lot of darkness.
And it's a lot of noise. Just a lot of noise.
It was very loud. I do remember it being loud.
So loud. And the only reason why we thought that was because it was right next to the Bill and Ted stage. So maybe they had to have it a little louder because they have Bill and Ted
For
going
sound
on.
bleed?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you don't hear Bill and Ted when you're going through Insidious. So you're like, 69 dudes! Oh my god! Monster!
They did have a cool facade, though, and we all missed this, but about a week or two later, they added projection to the facade,
I noticed that.
which was really nice. It was a little bit of projection mapping where they added some, moving books.
Or flames.
Yeah, just like their intro to other films.
Yeah.
So that was, it was fine.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think that the Blumhouse maze on both coasts, to me, was kind of forgettable. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of any of those properties that are in that maze, so it's like, okay.
I do appreciate ours, to a certain extent, trying to put like a slight story spin on it, where you're out in the streets during the Purge, and then you seek refuge in a theater that's having a double feature.
Yeah, I think the
these
pacing
two
of ours
movies.
felt a little bit better,
way
right?
better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it ended with Big Daddy, so that was kind of nice.
Which they got rid of after the Las Vegas shooting.
Did they?
Yeah.
Orlando podcast.
They did get rid of that.
Yes.
Right? So that was...
I didn't know that. What was the situation?
Just out of sensitivity for what happened at Las Vegas, they pulled the Big Daddy ending where he's shooting
Oh, at
the giant machine gun
in
like
Orlando?
that. Yeah.
No,
See,
here.
Here.
Oh, well, we just went through it. They had it.
Maybe it was for the weekend.
It might have been for the weekend because
That
when we
one
went
weekend.
through, because I was really confused. I'm like, I haven't seen this movie, so I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
I just saw this one guy shooting a gun at us, and I didn't really
no, it's
understand
Big
what was
Daddy.
happening.
But I know that they pulled it for... So,
Yeah.
weekend.
it must have been the weekend then.
That must have been just the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I think that's kind of cool of them to change up a situation. I mean, it's tough because without getting into
That's a
this
tough call. Sure.
with a very very long political conversation about like
That's a tough call.
all of that stuff,
Sure.
it is a very very difficult call to make.
Sure.
Especially given the circumstances of a Halloween Horror Nights or just a Halloween event in general, where everything is supposed to be
Death and
death and murder and just open to being parodied to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And when real life gets in the way, it makes it kind of a problem.
Yeah.
So, but moving forward, next maze, Ash versus Evil Dead, which felt like very much like the trailer put into maze form because it felt like a party. It felt like there was just pounding rock music throughout the entire thing, and there was moments I really really enjoyed. And there was a part that actually kind of shocked me that I was not expecting because there was a scene where this woman pops out and she looks at all of you and goes, "Hello, pussies!" And I was like, "You just said that in a maze."
You're like, hi.
Whoa! Kind of shocked me.
I did not notice that or remember it, but
Maybe it was bad timing or something because it only happened every now and again, and I happened to be
That's
right
always
there,
the case,
looking
right?
me in the face and called me a pussy.
Come at me, bro.
I think for us, this is a case where Hollywood was definitely stronger.
Yeah.
I think I have to agree.
And
We all
variety and the aggressive actors, and it just represented it well. And we've never seen the show, but we're familiar with the original Evil Dead. So we at least kind of know who Ash is and all the whatever Evil Dead characters. So I don't remember this very well. Nothing stood out.
It's not a memorable maze.
I think
no,
that Florida's
nothing
had
was bad, but
yeah.
Florida's had a wider range of locales.
Oh yeah.
in their maze, right? So I did like the locales that were in their maze, like going through the bathroom and the bar and all that stuff. But ours just felt more grand. Ours, we had the full trailer out front, and
We had
it
more
just
creatures.
yeah, it just
And we had talked about that too. I was like, I like our trailer facade more. Than
it just
what they
felt
were
more
doing.
fun.
Yeah.
It
More
felt
fun.
like it was just raising hell,
And
and
it
it was just fun.
And it's funny because when you think like the difference again between the two, where Hollywood has full complete masks, and the Orlando version has actors who are just done up in a little bit of makeup.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, oh, I really prefer just seeing the actor's face. But after having gone through ours once again, I prefer the mask because all the actors just looked way too different for me.
Yep.
And there was
I would much rather have them uniform.
there
hard
was
to keep
also
consistent.
this attitude that came with ours that I really enjoyed that didn't come across in theirs, because Ash as a character has this attitude, this very badass attitude.
Yeah.
And there's moments in ours where he'll be throwing his chainsaw at a monster, then look at a guest and just go, "What's up?" And then like hide away,
Yeah.
which isn't translated as well in Orlando.
Yes.
I think that's, another deeper conversation where our actors are much more aggressive, and maybe it's just the nature of being in Hollywood or the way they're trained, and nothing's wrong with Orlando, but I just think overall that our actors really go in your face and are way more aggressive, and but Orlando has creative scares. Just way more creative scares, so it's kind of like I love both, but they're different.
Yeah, very much so. And we're very familiar with Evil Dead as a IP in general, as well as Ash versus Evil Dead, because we've watched it. And just, I find ours more satisfying as a whole, as a fan of the character and the source material. Orlando did have some really interesting scenes that I actually really appreciated. There was a scene where the severed head of his girlfriend was in the vice, and she wouldn't shut up, and she would
Yeah.
just continually
like that
talk,
part.
which I really appreciated, because that's something from the movies that I really like and that was in the show. And just the makeup in general in that maze to me was pretty outstanding. I really appreciated all the Deadites and all of their pale-eyed looks, which was fantastic. I thought that was just so much fun. So, but overall, I think it's a little bit forgettable, just a little bit.
Yep.
So, next one up on the list is The Fallen, which is another original house. Did you like The Fallen?
Yes, I loved it.
It was our favorite.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
And again, that's so funny how the Orlando hardcore fans they've ranked this as one of the lower ones.
Yeah.
And here we are, the newbies coming in, and we're like, I love the Fallen.
Yeah,
So
I thought
it
it
could
was-
be timing,
I thought it was by far the strongest.
100% timing.
because a lot of this is
100%.
show. So we could have
Yes.
just
We missed everything
happened.
pretty
We
much
did.
when we went through.
I think we
We
had
saw
good
a lot of
timing.
There was a
show.
couple moments where we
Yeah.
caught one or two things, but overall, we were either too early or too late for a
that's
lot
too
of the
bad.
things that were happening in the maze.
Yeah.
So for us, this kind of fell in between, because we love the sets, we love the costumes. All that was awesome, especially that bungee guy who was just like,
it was
falling on top
I
of
did love
you.
the bungee
Yeah.
guy. Yeah,
It was
that
nice to see
legit.
stunts.
Yeah.
in,
I love
in
that.
Universal
The-
Park, because it's
Yeah.
not other than stilts. It's not common in our park.
The range of scares.
Yeah,
I mean, everything from
they're very lucky to
people
have
flying
everything.
above you to people on basically mini stages to at one
Bungees.
point there was a hand and arm that came bursting up through a corpse.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the
Right
one
next
thing
to
that,
us,
that
right?
stands out in my mind.
So it was really great, and I just thought that the sets were just sexy as hell. I thought that the Fallen looked really, really good, and a great soundscape for
very
it.
much so.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Hellraiser and then demon type of themes. So for me, that kind of stood out of kind of my interest level
Yeah.
of the weird Satan, demon. Kind of thing. So, and it was also one of our last, I think, or second to last maze at the end of the night. I don't know if that made a difference, but
No,
Our rat's
it was,
making
It
noises
was
in
great.
the
That's
corner.
okay. She's allowed to.
Stop playing with your tunnel.
This is her room.
She's
we're
looking
we're
at me
in
like,
it.
you shut up. I
Yeah.
play with my tunnel if I
She's
want
all
to.
come at me, bro.
She's doing it. She just yawned at me. She showed me her teeth.
No, I think that Fallen was great.
I do think it was. I think
I loved
out
it.
of all of them, I thought The Fallen was probably the most beautiful
It was
overall.
freaking awesome.
From beginning to end. You know, because Dead Waters had a beautiful beginning.
Yeah.
But from beginning to end, I think The Fallen was the one that was
Strong.
the most
Strong.
and eye candy.
Yep.
And very much visual storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
It was easy to understand what was going on.
It was a dark theme. It was easy to follow.
Yeah.
You're
I
right.
just feel like we would have had to go through it one more time, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more time and we would have
I-
definitely gotten a good run through. We just had bad timing that
I
one
wish
time.
we did that with all the mazes because
Yeah,
I wish we could
it
go
could
through
make a
everything
world
all
of
at
difference.
Yeah.
And that goes the same with Hollywood. You can miss half the scares and then have a better experience, or have a bad group with you. You know.
Yeah.
We only went through the mazes once.
Yep.
Yeah.
We went through The Shining
twice, American Horror Story twice, and one
Dead
other
Waters?
one. Dead Waters twice,
Yeah, I
I
think
think.
so.
Something like
Yeah.
that. I don't remember.
We were
but
kind of
only
just
did a few twice.
strolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were kind of like on a mission. We were like doing stuff like
You were
crazy.
kind of rowing your boat
Well, yeah.
gently down the
When
stream
it was-
because you were
when it
getting
was
rained
Yeah.
out.
We were getting rained out.
We were powering through maze to maze to maze when it was raining because we didn't want to be outside.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And so we knocked
weren't getting
a lot
rained
out.
on. It was just
Yeah.
hotter than the hubs of hell for us.
So
just
you were
wanted to have-
sluggishly walking.
We wanted beer.
We wanted
just
cold
look at
beer.
The scare
Yeah,
zone,
yeah,
And
yeah.
they'd go, "Oh, there's the maze. Let's just go in. Oh, Bill and Ted's starting." Okay. So we were slow through.
We also broke our cardinal rule and we did a lot of rides.
Oh, we did so many rides.
And it
we
was
don't
our
normally
first-
do that.
it was
we
our-
had Express. Why couldn't
It was
we
our
do
first
And it's their first time, so they get a
Yeah.
pass on
It was
that.
our
that's
first
fine.
experience with Diagon Alley at all, so
It was like a kid in a candy
so
store.
Sure,
we
of
What am I
course.
had
supposed to forget?
stand-
You
I've
totally-
never been there before.
Yeah.
You
We
totally
can't
get the
not look.
pass for that. Yes.
I've never been there before, and I'm like, "What's this? It's all new."
So
Yeah.
It felt like Jack and Christmas.
So the
Land
fact
in
that we did
Christmas
all that
Town.
and did mazes multiple times,
Yeah,
we
that's rad.
really
Yeah.
did a lot.
we did crap.
That was a full night for you guys.
Oh yeah.
By the way, it's not on the list, and I don't know why it's not considered a scare zone, but we forgot to mention the clowns completely that were roaming, all the chainsaw-wielding clowns in front of the Simpsons ride that was in Krusty Land. Did you guys not see them? There was
Oh!
We saw
20
clowns.
25 clowns, every single one.
Yeah, we
had
saw
a
lots of
I
chainsaw.
clowns.
just realized that
But
that's not a
actors?
scare
It's
zone.
not a
Yeah.
scare zone.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I think they were maybe roaming because they were on that. They were on that front
We
part too. The
only
all
saw-
through
For
the
us,
horror. Or whatever.
for us,
They were there
only
too.
in Krusty
No, they
Land.
were there. They were kind of roaming all over
We only saw them
Why?
in Krusty Land. That was
because
it.
I don't know.
They were
Clowns.
funny.
I don't know.
They were
They
funny.
were hysterical. There was
Yeah.
one guy that came up to us, and he had his chainsaw in his hand, and we thought he was going to start revving it up and like come after us, but then he just tilted it up. He's like, cha-cha-cha chainsaw noises! And then walked past
That's
us, and
kinda
both
funny.
of us were like,
What the hell?
Oh,
what?
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
we didn't have any interactions with the
No.
clowns. No.
They were
had
all
multiple.
very
They were
vocal,
really funny.
very much just messing with people verbally,
See how different?
which was interesting.
See
Yeah.
how different you need to do it twice.
Yeah, so.
What's the next maze,
moving,
Gabe?
moving on. The next maze is Hive, which was definitely one of my favorites of the originals
It's very good.
overall.
I loved Hive.
It was very smart in what it was doing, and it had really interesting moments where
Mm-hmm.
the scares triggered black lights, which would reflect off of their contacts and their teeth.
Dude, I thought it was great.
It was
And
fantastic.
the locals,
It made me happy.
The locals aren't as hot on that either.
I'm
right?
on
And it
the,
was-
I'm on the local train. I'm sorry. I didn't like it. And I didn't like the noises they were making.
I like how you're so apologetic about it. I'm sorry, but it sucked.
I'm apologizing to the room in general I'm in right now. It wasn't my favorite.
I thought it was really cool.
I got some really good scares.
To
in
me,
there,
it felt
so
like an
we're
old school
completely
haunted
opposite.
house.
It did
right?
feel like
it
an
was
old
just
school
it was
haunted
spooky
house.
and fun
Oh, yeah.
with monsters, and I was a happy boy. I thought it was great.
It was my least favorite original, but that doesn't say anything. I thought it was amazing, but it was
Still
my
better
least.
than Blumhouse.
I guess.
Yes.
Well, then I agree with you. It was my least favorite original, but it wasn't my least favorite maze because there were definitely IPs lower on the list.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's
No,
fair.
but I do agree that it did feel like an old school haunted house. It didn't feel like something that was trying to be more than it needed to be. Mm-hmm. But it was the only one that I
was
was
great.
like, why does this sign just this big black square?
Hive.
Like, it was a really
Yeah.
odd way to advertise what the maze was.
It is kind of interesting. The facade and entry points of each maze are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have Scarecrow, which has a really great cornfield, right?
Yeah.
Where you walk through, and then everything has some sort of reveal, and then Hive is like hey, black sign.
You're in it
Yeah.
now.
And then you're inside the maze. So I don't know what their thought process is when it comes to that. Maybe budget?
It could just be the location
Also,
as well.
I don't know
That's
if the
true.
weather plays any part in what they want showing
Wasn't
on
it?
the outside.
Wasn't
Kind
it
of
in
weird
the
though,
dome?
because some of them,
It was in the dome.
some of them have facades, some don't,
Yeah.
which is
Oh, some of them
Kinda
go right
weird.
to the maze. I think
Yeah.
Scarecrow went right through
no.
the
Scarecrow
no,
had a big
Yeah,
facade
it had, like, this
outside.
little
The-
building that
oh,
you
that's
walked
right.
The
through.
windmill thing.
It was almost like you were going down into it
Yeah.
at a point.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Sometimes
Hive
I'll
was the only
blend.
one that didn't have like a true facade. You just
Yeah.
went in the double doors and then you go in. So I mean, I don't know what that
Shining
situation was.
didn't. Dead Waters didn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the ones that were in sound stages pretty much didn't have
Yeah.
facades, but they did have moments. As soon as you got into the
Yeah.
sound stage, they
A
had something to
welcome,
look
yeah.
at, like a
Yeah.
welcome. So at least they had that.
Yeah.
The last maze on our list is Saw. And I found this to be really interesting because I actually really enjoyed the setup because it
Me
was
too.
almost the maze was the trap, and
Yeah.
you had to
Yeah.
get through the maze in order to survive the trap, which I found ingenious. I
Yeah.
would have never thought about that in a million years.
I have issues with ours because I think it's too passive.
It's very
ours is
passive.
very, oh, look at this cool thing next room. Oh, look at this cool thing next
We
room.
went through, the pendulum that's cutting the guy in
Yeah.
half. The pig guy came out for a scare, looked at the pendulum, and he grabbed it and brought it up and then let it go because he had to reset the pendulum. It's not on a mechanism.
That
He
is
has to
not a part of the
drop it.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoop, whoop.
So that was the problem, right? I
Yeah.
think Orlando did better with more of a vignette setup versus room passive audience member. And that's, I think, the problem with the past Saw mazes in Hollywood. It was you are watching versus being a part of the experience. So I thought Orlando did a better job at being immersed in that environment. And I like you. Did you like the vignettes where you're like looking in the?
I liked Saw. I liked
was well
the
done.
same on both coasts. I thought that it was different.
If only
The look.
If only Johanna's looks can be translated to audio because it is fantastic.
Anybody that has a
It was a look of
girlfriend,
disgust.
and anybody that has a girlfriend that gives judgment looks, they know what they know what the look
You could
was.
hear your
the
eyes
emoticon.
rolling.
Yeah.
You could hear your eyes rolling. Just
No, I liked different things on both, but I thought that they were both on par. I really did. I thought that Saw here was just as good as Florida and vice versa for that maze.
yeah. I think I disagree just a little bit because we've been through Saw like 3 times now. I think.
Yeah.
And each time, at least on our coast, we've been through it 3 times, and each time the scares are on point. It feels like you're just watching
There
these
are
scenes
no
unfold.
scares.
There are scares, but they don't seem to work that well because normally the distract scares work rather well. I just don't feel like these are set up that well. The maze design seems just a little lazy. I enjoyed the aspect of theirs in Orlando's with the story of the maze being the trap, but then also the variety of scares that were involved with those specific different traps. So one that got me really bad
Yeah.
was the ice block that's supposed to smash that guy's head, and that was already smashed, but then it blew this really cold air at you, which scared the living daylights
Did
out
we
of
get
me.
that? I don't think we did.
I don't know.
But yeah, ours is
I would have
literally
lifted up my shirt.
it was,
Yeah.
It was so damn
Yeah.
hot.
Ours is room to room. Theirs spiced it up a bit. It was all different.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is how the movie is set up in that way. So I don't blame Hollywood. It's just the way it is. It is
Yeah.
watching someone getting tortured and so it was nice to see that design choice in Orlando.
It's hard because like how do you put a guest in the torture seat?
And they're all mostly solo experiences, right?
Exactly.
They're
Pretty
all.
much.
It's usually one person being tortured. So how do you make guests feel the same way when it is just one person in a singular torture
Yeah.
scene?
Yeah.
Right. It is hard,
It's very, very, very difficult.
but it's a very popular IP. It's popular in both coasts.
It's because it's visceral, and people like that. People want to see gore.
That
they
is
want to
true.
see. They want to see ridiculous situations of people having
Yeah.
to chop off their own legs.
And remember, we thought Saw was over, and here we are with a new freaking movie this
Yeah.
Halloween called
Saw,
Jigsaw.
the Games of Jigsaw. Wonderful name, by
The
the
promotion
way.
is so odd for this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's kind of all over the place.
It is. It's kind of like towards teenagers, but whatever.
A little bit.
Nonetheless. Orlando's version did include the new film, correct? as well.
Yes, it did include
the buckets.
Yes, it did.
So
Yes.
Which they had a good scare in theirs. Ours
Ours
is
was,
kind of like a room that has a lot
Again,
of the
it's passive
saws.
again.
It's passive.
It's passive again. And we did early entry. We show up at like what? It was like
5:30.
5:30.
Yeah.
The girl who has a bucket on her head is phoning it in already.
She's
and
just
like,
standing there,
shaking the chain, trying to get out. She's
that
like,
is supposed to be pulling her into this wall of saws, and she's just passively like shaking it like a dog leash.
she's like,
She is over it.
Yeah, and it was
Pretty
only
much.
5:30. Like
I was like, ooh, no bueno.
we were just laughing. But overall, Orlando's I feel was a little bit better than Hollywood's for this.
Definitely. And the last thing on the list, just to kind of, we could cover very quickly, is Bill and Ted's. Something that we don't have anymore that's gotten rid of, and this was the last year of it in Orlando.
I'm glad we saw it.
I'm really glad we
Yeah.
saw it because you could definitely feel the energy and the love that the audience as well as the actors have for the show. It was electric.
It was sad because you felt the goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm sure Rick can touch on this a little bit more, but we didn't grow up or have an attachment to Bill and Ted's. I really loved it when it was in Hollywood and then it went away. But we didn't have that 20 plus years of love and passion for this show that's now going away. So obviously we probably have a different opinion than a lot of fans out there. I'm not sure how you guys feel quite yet, but I thought it was a good show, but not as good as A Hanging and not as good as what Hollywood had.
Well, I feel like this year was paying homage to a lot of their past shows. So it was a lot of
A lot of it went
throwbacks.
over our
So we don't
heads.
have that
so
connection,
we didn't,
right?
so we
There's no
didn't
emotional
feel
connection.
it. So
And it wasn't bad.
it was a lot of fan service that we didn't get the reference.
And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
There was definitely funny stuff in it. I thought it was definitely funny, but I do agree with you to the extent of I think that it wasn't as good as The Hanging, and from what I remember ours being a little bit better.
It's different writers. It's poking fun at different type of pulp culture that's more popular in Los Angeles versus the East Coast, right? Then again, I haven't seen past Bill and Ted shows in Orlando, so I have nothing to compare it to.
Exactly.
Again, we're from here, and they have a big following, and I respect that. And we bought. Did we buy a mug?
We bought a shot glass.
We bought a shot glass.
We bought a
So
shot glass,
of
yeah.
course, we have a huge
Farewell,
appreciation.
dudes.
And I love Bill and Ted's, but yeah, it's maybe it is time to go. No one knows who Bill and Ted is other than the Hornet
Kids
fans.
don't know who Bill and Ted are anymore.
Yeah, you have to be like our age.
Pretty much.
It's lost in a lot
Yeah.
of people, especially teenagers who are now getting into Halloween Horror Nights. It's not a hip thing. At least The Hanging at Knott Scary Farm is general enough where
Yeah.
they can poke fun about pulp culture, but it's not related to an IP.
It's not a reference, yeah.
Which, yes, Bill and Ted's is old,
A little bit.
sadly. Rick?
I'm the unpopular guy in the room. I've never been a fan of the Bill and Ted
Ever?
show.
Did you like Bill and Ted as characters like in a movie though?
No, I didn't even like the movie when it
See,
came
I think
out.
that
Yeah.
may be why
I didn't
you're
connect
coming
there.
in.
Yeah, I love the original movie.
We love the movie.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
a big disconnect. I
So
can't
it's a
imagine.
huge disconnect for me with that. I was not a fan of it here. I just didn't think it was funny, really. I mean, to me, it always felt like, and this is from somebody that's grown up with Knott Scary Farm, I always thought that it was a pale ripoff of what The Hanging is. And I thought that, people that have written The Hanging, I thought just the humor is more pointed. It's sharper in The Hanging over the years. Certainly this year. The Hanging is really great this year. I just didn't think it was really funny. Now, that said, Johanna was right. You could totally feel the passion in the audience. You could feel the sadness of people saying goodbye to the show. It's going to be like when we say goodbye to Elvira on Halloween.
The end was sad and Bill and Ted.
Sure.
It was
so
very sad.
yeah.
I was like,
So I could totally, I could see, and the nostalgia was palpable, and I can totally appreciate that. Just it wasn't nostalgic for me. It was not. I'm not the demographic. I'm definitely not the target audience. I'm not the fan of that. So while I can understand and appreciate and respect the nostalgia factor in that, just was not at all ever my thing. I always thought the Bill and Ted show was just not funny, and it went on way, way too long. I always thought it just really dragged with really long dance numbers that never ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did have long
the
dance
Hollywood,
numbers.
the Hollywood ones. I hated the dance numbers.
Oh.
I gotta agree with you.
It
It
took
just went on way.
forever.
It was like it felt like it was 10 minutes too long.
Yes, but I'm not
Every
sure.
time I saw it,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if that was just a Hollywood thing.
No, because they're.
No, because the dance
I was
numbers
looking at my
just
watch. I was
never
looking at the
ended.
clock. I was looking at the clock in Orlando too.
It's like
I
all of
was
a
kinda
sudden this
mm.
guy comes out. It's like, why is there Freddie Mercury coming out and singing and dancing now?
Well, that's funny. I didn't mind it this
When
year.
did that happen during pop culture this year? He's been dead for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Well,
true.
it was throwback this year.
It was, and
Yeah,
I
they were
totally
bringing
get it.
back a lot of things
Yeah.
from years past that we didn't know.
I totally get it, but at the same time, the Elvira show is kind of that this year, and it's like, what, 25 minutes?
And
It doesn't go on and on and on and on and on,
Elvira
right? So it doesn't
rocked it.
feel
Elvira's really cool.
it doesn't feel long, right?
I don't know.
And it
I'm-
still
I'm
feels
a-
nostalgic, but
Yeah.
but again, I am definitely not the target for that, and I didn't grow up with it, so I think it's great that they've played the nostalgia game with it, and I mean the fans were standing up, giving a standing ovation. So you know what? Who am I to take away from that? I mean that's their dealio, not ours. And so I thought that was really nice. I thought it was a really nice send off.
Yeah.
Because the fans obviously loved it. There were fans we saw that had they were choked up. There were people that were screaming no at the end, and I totally understand that because we're going to see the same thing happen in just a week or so at Knott's when Elvira says goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, which
So-
is gonna be rough.
Yeah. So in hindsight, right? It's
Yeah.
it's nothing against the show. It's just not our thing, especially if we didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's definitely running off of nostalgia.
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely running off of nostalgia. But overall, Halloween Horror Nights 27 is an incredible event. Just like over all the things that we've talked about tonight, there's an incredible amount of things to cover, and is definitely warrants, in my opinion, multiple nights in order to really take in the full aspect of this entire event.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, sure.
there's just so
Yeah.
much.
You can do it in one night.
Oh, it's
but,
possible, which we did it.
Yeah, same
By
here.
Express.
We were exhausted by the end, but you can do it in one night. But if you really want to appreciate it as a Halloween and haunt fan and really want to take your time, 2 nights is totally great. And then the second night you can do rides and then do a couple of the mazes that you've wanted to see again.
Sorry.
What?
Said sorry, we did our rides in the same
No,
night.
but you guys did it right. That's great. I wouldn't have said no to Diagon. And we said hi to Diagon and then walked out just to
But
say
you'd
hi.
already been there. We
True, yeah. But we got to say hi. I mean, that's the
You
thing.
have
It's so
to.
special that you have to say
Yeah.
hi.
I was like rubbing my body on everything. So it'd be like, I was here. I touched everything.
And then Rick was rubbing his nipples when he saw the dragon, so, you know.
He rubs his
Same
nipples
reaction.
regardless.
Wow,
He's
that
rubbing his
just-
nipples now.
That just got so ugly and personal right now. Damn.
I'm a little
okay.
turned on.
We
I don't know
all
about
we
you.
all have heat stroke. It's okay.
Oh,
A
no.
little bit. It's very hot in this room. I apologize.
We're reliving Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Definitely.
Exactly. Wringing out our shirts later.
Rick, do you have some overall thoughts?
I just, it was great to finally experience it. I can see us returning every several years to check it out. It was fun. I think that I am content with what we have here. I will not, next year won't roll around and I'm not going to sit here going, oh man, I really, really wish we were in Florida. We've done it. We've seen it. We understand what it is now. I think it certainly rounds us out more as creative types and as people that create something like Midsummer Scream. It certainly gives us a broader appreciation, because you always hear about this thing that's happening over here. Well, now we know. We've touched and felt, and we know what the thing is now. One thing that I do want to add real quick that I wish that we had here that we don't, they had an entire store dedicated to Halloween Horror Nights.
It did?
Dude, it was right across from the bus in the Purge. And it was 2 really big rooms.
We totally missed it.
next
We
to the mummy.
totally missed
The
it.
rooms were all themed out. It was every bit of
it
merchandise
had
you could imagine.
statues of characters and stuff. I know what
it
you're
was
talking about. I saw
great.
pictures.
It
I
was
just didn't go in.
fantastic. And I thought, why in the hell do we not? Because we have like an end cap on the Universal store on the way out type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's the same store.
This
There's-
was
Well, they had like
an-
a Walking Dead setup.
Dude, it was
Yeah.
an
Halloween
entire
Horror Nights.
dedicated store, and it was really, really cool. So I do wish we had that kind of thing, but but that's just a small detail. But that stayed with me, and I thought that was really nice.
But
that
when
they
it comes
did
to events, it's those small details that you remember
Yeah.
anyhow.
Oh, yeah,
So-
absolutely.
yeah, I loved that. I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm glad that we went. It certainly has been.
It is a treat.
It's been a cornerstone of our Halloween journeys this year, and
definitely a highlight.
Yeah,
Same here. Definitely a highlight of our
I'll never
adventures.
forget that, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Any more on that?
No, I think it was great, and I hope the next time we return, there's not a freaking hurricane in the Gulf, and that it actually feels kind of like Halloween.
Let's aim for HHN 30.
But
Hey, that's
Oh,
Yeah,
damn, you're
let's do it.
smart, Nikki.
dude, that's 3 years from now.
Yeah, perfect.
Boom, done.
Oh
you
my
said
God.
it yourself every 3 years.
years or so.
Yeah.
So no, I'm glad that we did it. It's been a grand Halloween tour this year, and that, like Johanna said, that certainly is a highlight. And hats off to Mike Aiello and his entire team over there. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about John and Chris on this coast. Well, we got to give huge props to Mike and his group over there, because they certainly kicked ass and knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
and,
there's
100%.
a great crew over there. I follow all those guys on social media, and I do follow Orlando as much as I do with Hollywood, and they have an equal amount of passion as we do.
Yeah.
And that's great. They all talk to each other. They get along, and they are both very different, but they're both great. And I've gotten a lot of questions and tweets and asking, "Hey, did Orlando ruin your love for Hollywood or your thoughts?" I'm like, no, because you can't compare it.
Apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Hollywood was created out of situation. It was never a theme park, right? And construction, just everything. They've worked with what they can, and it is still a fantastic event. You know, there's always those up and downs, but they're both different. You can't compare it. Obviously, Orlando, it's bigger. It's more consistent. I would say
It's the years behind it. It's everything.
it's 27 years of experience, and Hollywood is still growing.
Yeah.
But they're both fantastic events.
And it's an ongoing challenge because we're also a working studio.
Yes.
So you don't have the luxury of, well, we're going to put this maze here and that. There's movie schedules to contend with. There's operations versus the studio side. Ours is a whole different ball of wax
And the theme
than
park
Florida.
is always in flux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah, and we're experiencing growth over
and-
here like we've never had before. So ours is kind of like a changing beast.
It is.
at
You
the
know,
moment.
we have
It's
the fire
different every
pods,
year.
We were just
talking about that.
down at the lower lot, like the back lot, like the where the
American Horror Story
where American Horror
saw
Story is.
Ash vs.
And
Dead.
no, actually it was after we got out of Insidious and we were walking through the exit, and Gabe's like, there used to be a soundstage right there. It was gone. It was a parking lot now.
Yeah, and it's
so like
all paved
weird.
over again.
It's totally
Weird,
like
isn't it?
construction all the
Yep.
time. Like they're making way for so much more. So they just had to work with what space they had.
Exactly, and so you can't compare both parks when Orlando is a fully functioning theme park with all the attractions open, and ours, we don't even open Despicable Me or Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So it is such a focused event on the haunt, whereas Orlando, it's the full event. It is literally go big or go home in Orlando, and that's great because we're gonna love it all the time, and we're gonna visit for the 30th anniversary, and we'll be back for sure. It was amazing. I literally I didn't mention this earlier, but I was tearing up as I walked in because it was just so overwhelming.
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't believe I'm here already, like. Because it just happened because T2 was announced, and then we made this plan, and 3 weeks later we were in Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it was very fast.
it just happened,
Yeah.
and it was overwhelming.
I had watery eyes because my tear ducts were sweating.
We had watery
So
eyes
goddamn hot
because
and
it was
humid.
raining on our faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was raining on our
Oh,
faces.
Orlando!
So many different experiences.
I know.
And literally
My
we
feet
went
were
like 3 days
waterlogged.
apart.
So great
Why
stuff.
did we sweat so much at 1 a.m.?
Great stuff there. Great stuff here. Universal. Let's get Harry Potter some Dementors and scary stuff for Halloween.
Yes.
Yes,
Please.
I've been
These
saying
guys,
that for 3 years.
Pretty please.
Coast.
The Japanese are doing it right. Hello.
Yes.
So yeah, but
least pumpkins.
great event on
at least
on both
pumpkins.
coasts.
Floating candles, if nothing else.
Yeah, great event.
That's in the queue.
And highlight
True.
of Halloween 2017 for us.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
us too.
But thank you guys so
Thank
much
you
for
so much.
joining us on this massive
course.
conversation. And no other two people that I could imagine to have on the show to chat about Halloween Horror Nights, knowing you two are very much in it with Halloween and especially having Midsummer Scream and knowing your shit. And that's really the honest opinion of myself.
It was a perfect situation. Thank you. But we both, as lovers of themed entertainment and haunts and theme parks, what are the odds of both of us going
for the first
time, literally two days apart, whatever it was,
something crazy.
and having our first experience and sharing that today. So that's very rare and super cool. And
it was great.
And I'll do it again.
Yeah.
And we just learned, it was a learning process for us, right? It just makes us, I think, better as Halloween fans and certainly as professionals in the industry, just to know what it's like. And
what technology's out there, what designers are doing.
Become more well-rounded as a
Sure,
professional.
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, mirror gags are used in themed entertainment all the time, and just to see it utilized in such an aggressive manner can be used anywhere in museums or... what Rick does a lot of theme parks. I do a lot of visitor centers and attractions. So that's all relevant to what we do professionally. But also as fans, like we talk about this mirror thing that I'm sure was a part of Universal for years, and suddenly we're like,
blew our minds.
I know.
Oh my god!
This mirror gag. Oh my god!
Literally, it's my favorite part of.
I know. Michaela's a god.
It was just so smart.
It was such a
really great.
simple gag.
Yeah, very, very simple, but very, very, very effective.
I had the biggest grin on my face after I saw it. Like, it didn't even scare me. I just saw it happen, and I
think
was
you were just
so
more
happy.
entertained by the
think I
fact that I
screamed.
screamed like a little girl.
I screamed.
I did
And
too.
then we both
How
went,
could you not?
I probably clap. My thing is I always say nice. I clap. I usually clap and say, oh, that's great, or oh, nice.
After I
usually-
scream.
I usually yell an obscenity and then laugh.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy.
You're worse than I am.
I am worse.
Yes.
When a scare really
When he
gets
gets
me,
it, he gets it.
I get it really good,
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn it! And then I start
I
laughing.
don't.
I react.
I don't react. I'm dead inside.
I only react. Well,
don't.
actually, that being said, just real quick, I actually had a lot of scares in Orlando.
I did too.
because
Same here.
Because we're so used to
Everything
the
was so
Knotts,
fresh. Yeah.
and because we weren't used to their scares and their techniques, that everything was just new. So of course you're going to get more startled when everything is brand new to you. So I did get startled. Thank you very much.
So startled
Not
right
scared.
now. So startled.
Just that was good.
Yeah.
Even when you
Yeah.
have your defenses up, you still get it because
Yeah.
you're not expecting
It's not
because they're
what you're
just
expecting.
so different.
So that was nice
So-
after many years of doing Hollywood and not really getting startled, just enjoying it as a fan. This was a nice change to enjoy both sides of it as a
Exactly.
fan. To actually be startled, but also appreciate the design of the maze. So yay! For once! Because I don't get scared often.
We're all
that's good.
jaded individuals when it comes to haunts.
Yes. Unless you put me through like 17 door, then I'm screaming. So,
Or Gates of Hell, like you just
oh
did.
God, yes.
That's
But
a whole other
episode.
podcast.
Yep.
That's a whole other thing.
Yep.
So, but thank you again
Yeah.
for joining us, you guys.
Thank you,
Honestly,
guys.
it was incredible to have you on the show. Please plug away Midsummer Scream and Theme Park Adventure. We're big fans of both.
Thank
so we
you.
really want to make sure that our listeners know who you guys are, which they probably already do. But if they don't, I want to make sure they know where to find you.
So this comes out when, the 30th?
This is coming out the 30th. So, yes,
Okay.
Monday, right before Halloween. So
All right,
happy
kids.
Halloween,
So tomorrow morning, Halloween morning, check your social medias. Midsummer Scream 18 coming your way. There you go. There's your little
Exclusive.
Halloween exclusive there. Check your social media. Check Facebook. Early in the morning on Halloween, kids. We are at themeparkadventure.com, at TPA Magazine, or Theme Park Adventure. Just play with your Google, and we come up on all the different social media platforms.
Sounds dirty.
Hear that, kids? Play
It
with
is.
Google.
And it is...
Liz Lemon, can I Google myself in your office?
What Gabe said.
oh, my God. midsummerscream.org. And, yeah.
Everything is
that's-
at Midsummer Scream.
That's right.
Instagram and Twitter.
Yep. And we are deep in the
Facebook.
throes of Midsummer 18 already for you guys. And
Seriously, can't wait.
Yeah.
Midsummer Scream last year was incredible.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what you guys have planned for us this upcoming
thank you.
season.
Thank you. We're rolling.
Thank you.
We're rolling, baby.
So,
So we want to say happy Halloween to everybody. And thank you guys for having us out tonight. And trick or treat.
Yeah, it's a great season.
yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Happy Halloween. said it before, I'll say it again. I can't imagine anyone else to have that conversation with.
Yeah, it was so great. It worked out perfectly that we were there the same year.
And the first time,
Yep.
completely. You know, albeit they did a lot other stuff in their trip. But I mean, this is the first time that any of us had gone to Halloween Horror Nights 27. And we had a freaking blast. Oh my god. It was just so much fun. And then just the conversation with them was fantastic as well. And I know that they plugged themselves already, but make sure you do check out midsummerscream.org for information all about Midsummer Scream, and sign up for their newsletter so that you get all the information on when tickets go on sale for that and everything. As well as make sure you check out themeparkadventure.com. They have fantastic articles written about a lot of different things in the theme park industry. And TPA also has a YouTube channel where they have fantastic flow-through videos of some of the awesome mazes that Knott's Scary Farm has this year. So make sure you look at that as well and subscribe and look at all the fun stuff they have.
Yep.
So, but this brings us to the end of our Halloween adventure in October, and it's been a journey.
I'm tired.
I'm very tired. I was sleeping before we recorded. I'm dead tired. Dead tired.
Uh-oh.
What?
Like our ghost host.
No, he's just dead. He's not dead tired.
Oh, yeah, he did seem pretty awake.
Yeah, but he was dead. So, you know, we're really tired. It's like always, at this point in the season, it's always like a mix of emotions, because I'm happy that we're going to have time off and relax and not have to go somewhere, but I'm also extremely sad that my favorite time of the year is gone.
You just start counting down until next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pretty much what I'm going to do. Like, I'm already in my head, I'm like, what am I going to do next year? In my mind. But I know that I have to hold off on that.
Just
that
a
seems
few
ridiculous.
months. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little ridiculous. Oh, wait, no, a few months? Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Maybe a month.
Okay.
Maybe a couple days.
Okay.
Maybe
Just
now.
wait till after my birthday.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's in 2 weeks.
Yes.
You can wait that long.
Yay! It's going to be rough. It's going to be really rough. But it's okay. So thank you guys for tuning in for all these crazy Halloween episodes. We really appreciate it. If you're new to this show and you found it during this ridiculous Halloween episode series, we're not normally like this. Not every week. We're every other week. So we're going to start slowing down to that again. But thank you for tuning in.
And we do branch out to a lot of different topics. So,
yes, it isn't just haunt all the time.
Yeah.
We're talking about a lot of different things. So thank you for tuning in for all of this ridiculousness. And we're going to be back on the normal schedule very, very soon. And also, make sure you listen for us on One Little Spark Podcast, because we're making a little bit of a guest appearance in this dramatized version of the Haunted Mansion.
Also, the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
Yes, we were also on the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
But that might sound a
UUOP.
little familiar.
Why?
Because we talked about Orlando.
Oh, yeah, we talked about just like our
Orlando during the
general
day, yeah.
Orlando trip.
Which we will also be talking about on a later episode of this show.
In more extreme detail.
Yes.
We're going to be doing a trip report. So we have a lot of things coming up, as well as a very, very, very cool interview that we're going to be having.
Yep.
That I am not going to tell you who it is, because I am a terrible human. So you're just going to have to wait and see when we post that episode who we are going to be interviewing. And that's pretty much it. I mean, honestly, it's been a hell of a run in Halloween, and I'm sad that it's over, but I'm excited to see all the new stuff that's going to be coming up for the theme parks that's not haunt related as well.
Yes. We'll get into Christmas time pretty soon.
Yes, exactly. So if you guys want to reach us over social media, make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope. All of them, you can find us Theme Park Duo. We love to post on Instagram stories, and I post once a day on Instagram and always on Twitter and Facebook. So make sure you check us out there. If you want to email us, you can contact us at
themeparkduo@gmail.com.
And if you're loving the show, make sure you head over to iTunes or Stitcher or anywhere to leave us a written review and let us know how we're doing and how much you love the show, because it really helps us kind of come up in the standings, and it makes it easier for people to find us and enjoy us like you are right now. So, Nikki, where can people follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at NikkiM_313.
And everyone can follow me at Laker793 on Twitter. But most importantly, everybody, always remember, there's always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. See ya! And happy Halloween!